Of course, we'll have a Q&A up later today at some point. I'm not sure exactly what time we'll have that one up. First hour gameplay video should also already be up. Happy Starfielding, everybody!
This is it. This is the last video I'm recording here in my office. And in fact, once this video is completed, we're going to be moving stuff out and tearing down the sets and relocating the operations of Paul's Hardware from the office back to my home. I'm actually very excited because there's been a bunch of upgrades going on in my house. I have a video series that's going to be coming out on that very soon. But for now, I'm going to be answering some questions that were asked in last month's Probing Paul, and we're also going to be doing some mail time. Today's video is brought to you by the Corsair IQ Link System Hub, a single small controller that manages all of your system cooling and RGB lighting. The IQ Link System Hub mounts magnetically to your case and can control up to 14 devices, 7 per port, with daisy chain support so you can simplify your cable management while still enabling glorious synchronized RGB. Corsair IQ software can automatically configure IQ Link components while enabling precise fan speed control and real-time system monitoring. Click the sponsor link in the video's description for more on the Corsair IQ Link System Hub. A few quick notes before we dive into it. This is a monthly Q&A series, so if you want me to answer your question, leave that question in the comment section down below. All the questions today were taken from last month's Probing Paul back in July. This is my 81st probing. There's also a playlist going all the way back into the depths of time if you're interested in other questions that I've answered in the past. But here's the first question from TTIFF97. Hey Paul, looking to build a new PC this summer. I was wondering which brand is the least risk at the moment. They were going to go with Asus, but after some of the things, they're unsure. This is actually a subject that I've been discussing a little bit recently. I was talking to some people about it at LTX, as well as the fan meetup that we had recently, and brands can suck sometimes. Brands can do things where you're like, hey, that sucked. That was not consumer friendly. They were trying to pull something over on consumers, or they're trying to sell a product that was of a lower tier for more money. There's a whole wide range of things that brands might do to piss us off as consumers, and the question becomes, if you have written off a brand, if you have canceled them, so to speak, then where do you go from there? So what I found myself saying in these conversations was that if I were to write off, to not work with a brand that has done something like that, every single time a brand does something like that, in my past, say, 15 years or so, working here in the tech industry, and I would not have any brands to work with anymore.
What the fuck?
Pissed us off. AMD has done shady stuff that's pissed us off. NVIDIA has done stuff. Like, we can talk about the more recent stuff with Asus. We can talk about stuff that MSI and Gigabyte and the ASRock have done that have been anti-consumer. The list goes on, and I have a few that kind of stick out in my mind, like, look up Lenovo Superfish. You guys remember Superfish with Lenovo? Lenovo's still out there, still making laptops. People are still buying them. So my stance on this question of what to do when a brand has done something egregious that makes you not want to buy from that brand ever again is to consider that a brand is not just a single entity or a single person. A brand is usually created by a company. A company is usually comprised of many, many different people at many different levels. And in my opinion, if we're giving these companies just the slightest benefit of the doubt, it's not necessarily the entire company making this decision. It's probably just a single person or maybe a small group within that company who's decided, here's how we can screw over companies and make this much more money and get ourselves a better bonus this year. So I guess if I wanted to provide like a 3-point TLDR answer to your question, one is, like I said, keep in mind that the brands are companies. Companies are not just an individual. Two would be to look at the company's response to the problem. Obviously, when something happens like the recent situation with Asus, there's often a public outcry. Once it gets to be loud enough, that company is probably going to come out and respond in some way. How are they responding? Are they owning up to the problem and apologizing and saying that they're going to do things different in the future and make these changes so that it doesn't happen again? Or are they trying to brush it off or go radio silence and just try to wait till the whole thing blows over? The response for me often has just as much to do with, if not even more, to do with how you want to treat the company in the future when they have done something bad. The third thing is that companies are still going to do bad things. I'm sorry. It's going to happen again in the future. Companies are going to continue to look for ways to make as much money as they can, often at the expense of the consumer. That's kind of how business works to some degree, which kind of sucks. So that is something that we have to accept to a degree, but it's also, I think, the responsibility of like us in the tech media and the community out there that when a company does overstep its bounds and do something that's egregious, that we speak up loudly and we let them know that that's not acceptable so that they don't think that they can continue to get away with it or get away with something similar to that in the future. Next question from Ian Cohen 1510. Hey Paul, love the channel. Thank you, Ian. Glad to see taking the necessary days and weeks off helped your overall demeanor. I agree. I'm also very glad about that. And Joe's happy that I don't yell at him as much anymore. Ian built a system with my guide back in 2019, which is awesome. They're considering some upgrades, and they're wondering how I deal with the upgrade process without creating e-waste, which I greatly respect and appreciate. A lot of people don't consider what's going to happen to the parts and the hardware that they're using after they're done using them. And especially with computer parts, there are often like heavy metals or other things in the actual parts themselves that mean you shouldn't just toss them into the dumpster because you don't want that stuff ending up in a landfill. So the first and best way to deal with e-waste is to not have it be e-waste in the first place. If the hardware is still functional, if it's still somewhat within the range of being capable of handling modern tasks, then see if you can find a new home for it. Whether that means taking apart a system and then selling the components on eBay, or maybe taking those parts and then reaching out to friends in your community to see if anyone can still make use of them. Finding something like a local school that might need help with their computer lab. Schools are often really strapped for cash, and getting hardware and getting a new system up and running is often something that you can do there. You'd have to check locally, of course. What I like to do from time to time, and this is probably a little bit more unique to me since I'm like a tech YouTuber, is have a fan meetup. And we actually just did that on Sunday, Kyle and I and a bunch of
What up?
We actually got this picture kind of late, but there is, I think, between 20 and 30 people who arrived. But at that event,
What you
I took
need
as much
from
of the
me?
hardware that I had on hand that I didn't have a home or an immediate use for, and sold it for very, very reduced costs to the fans who had showed up. And then we're taking all that money and we're
good luck,
dropping it into the pool
Superman.
for the Extra Life charity donations for the Extra Life live stream.
Fly like an
to
eagle.
later in Q4. Of course, all this might depend somewhat on the hardware that you're dealing with, and some
Gonna
PC
fly
hardware
like an
just gets
eagle.
old enough to where it's not
Which
even
way
really
we going?
viable
You guys going
to use
around
at
this
all
to the right or
anymore.
the left?
And if that's the case for you, I would just internet search for e-waste recycling near me. There are pop-up events that happen mostly every weekend, depending on the area that you live in, or some cities might have an e-waste recycling
Gonna
center
fly
or a
like
specific
an
location where they have e-waste drop-off. But the point is, there are professional e-waste recycling operations that will take that hardware and that will siphon off the
We got cases up here.
metals and gold and everything, and recycle those components properly so they don't end up in landfill. Next question from Adam Goss 1735. When setting up a machine, it's often suggested you have a separate drive for your operating system and for your games library. That's a good way to go. With current pricing, PCIe 4.0 drives are quite affordable versus PCIe 5.0. If you could have one of each, which would be better for the operating system versus the game library? Short answer here is I would put my PC games, the game library, the thing that's going to have the most amount of data that needs to be read off of the drive in like a sequential kind of fashion. That would go on the PCIe 5.0 drive. And I'd be just fine having my operating system and programs and stuff on the PCIe 4.0 drive, because when you're considering SSD speeds, there's more than one metric that you need to account for. You'll often see sequential read and write speeds, especially with PCIe 5.0 drives, because that is a metric where they can show the PCIe 5.0 drives are that much faster than the PCIe 4.0 drives, going from 3 to 5 or 6 gigabytes per second, all the way up to like 10 or 12 or I think even like 14 gigabytes per second. But apart from sequential read and writes, there's also response time. Response time is like, if I just ask for a little bit of data, how quickly can the SSD get that data out to the system so it can be acted upon, versus accessing a massive video file that's multiple gigabytes worth of data. Response time for SSDs has largely been the same, going from PCIe 3.0, 4.0, to 5.0. It has improved a little bit incrementally, but when it comes to a gaming PC in particular, you're actually not going to benefit very much going with those PCIe 5.0 drives.
You think they just opened a bin somewhere?
Sequential read and write speeds. The benefits there are going to be for like load times with games. So a game that you're firing up that needs to drop a bunch of data into the system memory, that is going to take longer with a drive that is slower, like 4.0 drive versus a 5.0 drive, versus loading up something like your operating system, which doesn't have nearly as much data as loading up a game. That will still be just about as fast with either drive. So for that reason, I think you'll get the most benefit dropping your games onto the 5.0 drive. But honestly, for a gaming PC, you're not going to see that much benefit with that faster, more expensive drive. You'd probably be better off just going with two less expensive PCIe 4.0 drives. One last question for today. 2002 Red Eclipse GS says, I love all your videos. Thank you very much. I'm curious as to what some of your favorite PC games throughout the years are. My favorite of all time series is Mech 44.
Yeah,
All right.
got one
This is
guy,
by no
but
means a comprehensive
I thought
list. This
Renault
is
was
just
coming
kind of me going back into my history of gaming and mentioning the games that I have played the most,
One
going all the
down.
way back to like late high school and college. For that, I would say original StarCraft, Quake 2, like all the id games around that time, the Quakes and the Dooms. I played a lot of the Quake 2. I had a lot of fun with that one. The Final Fantasy series has been a long time favorite for me, going all the way back to the original Final Fantasy on the original Nintendo, which I know is a PC game, but I've definitely played like Final Fantasy 7,
The
Final
shield are
Fantasy 10
busted
on the
up.
PC. The Civilization series has also been a mainstay like throughout my life, also going way back to like high school days when I played it on my friend's Macintosh. That was like Civ 2 or Civ 3. But more recently, Civ 4, Civ 5, Civ 6, I've invested many hours into. World of Warcraft, of course. I started playing that in 2006. I invested many, many hours in that. It was actually something that my wife and I played together a lot back when we were dating. And I would say like World of Warcraft was probably the last time period when I was really investing a lot.
What the fuck? How do you get me down so quick?
Into PC gaming, and after that, it became a bit more casual. Part of it was because I started working on YouTube stuff more, so I was actually spending more time building gaming PCs than actually gaming on the PCs themselves. But in more recent years, I've spent a decent amount of time playing Overwatch. This is sort of the carry over.
Fuck, I only had one left. God damn it.
You play a lot of World of Warcraft, and
go.
you're looking for something after they did whatever expansion you decided was too much for you.
Hey, the entrance to the village a bunch of times.
Okay. And then Joe's reminding me, I guess my favorite PC games now are like the PC games that I benchmark, because it's the ones that I spend the most time on. Although it's not really playing often, it's just like running through the same like 1 or 2 minute segment over and over again, which is not nearly as entertaining. Oh, and golf with your friends. That one stands out to me because when we do our charity live streams, we almost always end with golf with your friends, and it's one of those games that is at the same time like fun, but also maddening and drives you insane. So it's good to close off things with. But anyway, it's not a comprehensive list. That's just sort of what bubbled to the surface when I saw this question. That ends the questions, and now we're going to transition over to mailbag. Let's start off with these, and if you want to send me something, it's P.O. Box 4325, Denver, California. Hopefully Joe can put that up on the screen right now. And yeah, send me stuff. I'll open it. It's pretty much the deal. And this is coffee. Ooh. This was sent by Ozzy's Coffee from New York, and it says Paul's Hardware, care of Joe. Joe is here today, thankfully. So, Joe, does that mean this isn't my coffee? I don't get this coffee?
No.
Bold and extra caffeinated Ozzy's Coffee, full throttle dark roast. That sounds like it's pretty much focused. This sounds like the bomb version of coffee. If you ever watch Hot Ones, but it seems like there's a lot of caffeine going on in here. I mean, it smells good.
Thank you.
Joe says thanks.
I know it makes sense. And I know.
Whoever from Joe's fan club says thank you. And don't worry, Joe, because I have coffee too. This is from Frederick Pierce from Texas, and this says Mossy Rock Coffee, specialty coffee roaster. We've got Nick's Blend. We've got Costa Rica Tarazu. And Nick included a very kind note. Nick says a few years ago they decided to build their own PC. Drove right in without any real guidance. Nick found my build guide after comparing it with a few others. Nick decided that my build guide was the best. Nick and 4 PCs have now been built by Nick in the house. That's awesome. It's kind of like that entry drug. My goal is to be the gateway drug to PC building, and once you build one, you have to, it's like getting a tattoo, I guess, maybe. You immediately have to build more. Alright, so this is actually from Nick's Roasting Company, so that's awesome. Mossy Rock Coffee, and I'm really excited to try this. So Nick, thank you for the coffee, and this also means we have plenty of coffee for both Joe and myself. So, next, we have a larger package here. This is from Anthony Moore from Illinois. Oh, cool. So Anthony's from Illinois. They have a company, a studio. It's called Tech Rat Studios. And Anthony wrote a book, a 30-page PC Builder's Checklist, which is apparently available on Amazon. And Anthony decided to send me a copy. Got some explanations of the components, some checklists for your parts and the tools you'll need, and accessories that you might need. Some icons representing the different PC hardware and everything. So, well done, Anthony. This looks like it's reasonably well put together. So if anyone is looking for some printed material documentation to supplement perhaps one of my PC building videos, then you can check this out. I will say, Anthony, by way of like constructive criticism and feedback, I'm slightly reminded of my time when I worked at Newegg back in the day, and I worked at different jobs back in Newegg. And at certain times, they wanted me to write tutorials, write guides, stuff like this. And the thought I always had is like, things change. Our systems change, the internal system changed. PC building changes a bit over time as well. So if I was to create a resource, something like this, a checklist, something to help new builders build a PC, I would want it to be flexible enough to be updated. So Anthony, I would consider making like an online version of this that you can host on a website somewhere. That way you can easily update it. But for some people, having stuff written down, like on paper, is like absolutely necessary. So I do hope you get some success with this. Thanks for sending it over. Moving on. Although it's not really playing games, we almost always end things with. But anyway, and if you want to send pretty much the deal today, thankfully, pretty much else. And don't worry, Joe, because I have specialty. And Nick, it's awesome. It's count. All right, so this is actually from, and this also means we have a book. So Anthony's from Illinois. They have a company, a studio. It's called Tech Rat Studios. And Anthony wrote a book, a 30-page PC Builder's Checklist, which is apparently available on Amazon, and Anthony decided to send me a copy. It's got some explanations of the components, some checklists for your parts and the tools you'll need, and accessories that you might need, some icons representing the different PC hardware and everything. So, well done, Anthony. This looks like it's reasonably well put together. So if anyone is looking for some printed material documentation to supplement perhaps one of my PC building videos, then you can check this out. I will say, Anthony, by way of like constructive criticism and feedback, I'm slightly reminded of my time when I worked at Newegg back in the day, and I worked at different jobs back in Newegg. And at certain times, they wanted me to write tutorials, write guides, stuff like this. And the thought I always had is like, things change. Our systems change, the internal system changed. PC building changes a bit over time.
Cracked an enemy shield. Reloading. Enemy down. Reloading. I am taking fire, friends. Reloading. I am taking fire. Broken enemy shield. Giving my shields a recharge. Reloading. The enemies are shooting at me. Using grapple. Reloading. Shots fired at me. Broken enemy shield. Under hostile on Scotty. Let's go this way. Recharging shields.
Calling in a lifeline package.
Reloading. Reloading. I am taking fire. But I cracked an Scotty's shield. We killed the last member. Good work, team. Gotta hop up here. Hammer point.
Go and check it. Got some materials for us.
Reloading. Recharging my shields. I am repairing myself. Taking a moment to recharge my shields. I've got an Evo shield here. It's cool. Level 3.
Just giving my shields a recharge.
Get ready. It's zipline time.
Recharging my shields.
I need heavy ammo.
Got some sniper ammo here.
Contact. I am taking fire, friends. Here I go.
Recharge.
I am down.
I don't know where that fucker was. Stay there, just let me come out. Get me now. Get me now. Now. Thank you.
Just giving my shields a recharge. Patching myself up a bit. Just giving my shields a recharge.
A champion just fell. I am repairing myself.
Why didn't you tell me there was an Evo shield there? I didn't need to do anything like that.
The ring is not close.
Pass me that sugar.
The ring is distant. Time is short.
Oh yeah, we got a ways to go.
Listen up, I'm calling a live.
Anyone got a drop?
Back tower, friends. Extended heavy mag here. Level 2. Watch out for the new kill leader, friend. The ring is moving to live fighters. No one is inside.
New kill.
Angeles. They are the local hospital.
You hear that? There's
Send it
a
out.
package coming down.
This one says Children's Hospital Los Angeles on it, which means came from the Children's Hospital Los Angeles. They are the local hospital for us that when we do extra live streams, the charitable donations go to them. And because it's a great organization and they have good people working for them, they occasionally send us some thank you stuff. It's cool. We always appreciate it. So we got a card here. Aha! They have a new rep named Michael. So Michael sent this over to introduce himself and also to say hello and say thank you for the work we've done in the past. And we have not done an extra life charity stream yet this year. We had to skip our summer one because we had a bunch of travel going on and I was getting stuff set up with the office and everything. I should say I was getting stuff set up at home to move out of the office. But we have a base camp water bottle here. We have the Children's Hospital Los Angeles Imagine magazine. And we got stickers, because you can never have enough stickers. Thank you to Children's Hospital Los Angeles and Extra Life. And again, guys, we will at least be having a charity live stream in December. We're hoping to do one prior to that in the fall as well. But as always, we'll keep you guys updated on the dates and times and stuff for those when we get them nailed down. 2 more boxes to open. I'm using these scissors because Joe took. We really got, and Joe took my knife home. Well, he put my knife in my truck. It's okay.
Whoa,
Alright,
wait.
this one came from Thermal Take, and it is labeled. It had a label. It said like Computex Trophy or something. So I don't know. I don't know. It says, did I win some sort of competition at Computex from Thermal Take that I wasn't aware of? Did they have trophies at Computex for some event or reason? And then they had extras that they just decided to send me. It's gonna be like that MSI Lucky the Dragon Golden statue that showed up randomly that I wasn't sure what to do with. Actually, that went to a fan at the meetup we had this last weekend. Okay. Can you see this? Can you see the text right there? Look at that. Who's the best media? Oh, Harvard is the best media. If yeah, Thermal Take.
I put one
I
down.
bring them up when I was talking about canceling brands and everything. Never. Not a good time for that. Not a good time for that. Alright. Apparently I'm the best media, and apparently I won this award, which means suck it like, you know, LMG and Gamers Nexus and anybody else who calls themselves tech media, because look at that. It's gorgeous. Look at the star on top. It's like a Christmas tree. It's solid, clear. Let's see. material or something. It says thermal tape, best media award, Paul's Hardware. Do that. That's because we kicked ass at Computex, I guess, apparently, is why I got this award. I had no idea I was receiving this award, but the thermal tape was sending it. But I guess I should do a speech real quick. I'd like to thank Thermal Tape for this award. I'd like to thank all the other tech media for sucking enough that I could win. Oh, and Joe.
Giving my shields a recharge.
Alright, one last box here, and I must admit, I already opened this one. Since I wasn't sure what it was. Again, I was like, what? But when I do open boxes, then I decide maybe it'll be good for mail time, so I set it aside for mail time. This came from the team over at Height and I Buy Power, because they had a St. Baldrick's fundraiser, and I was able to do a little bit of a plug for it a few weeks ago on Tech News. And so Stacy, who is our PR rep over there, who's awesome, by the way. Hi, Stacy. I hope you're doing great. Sent just a little thank you. Yo. Alright, so we have a canvas. These are RGB desk mats, and actually, we first showed these off, I think CES? You know when that was? Anyway, for mouse mats and everything, this is the big size, and this is the RGB enabled one. Boom. So here it is, a full-size desk mat. This is actually 900 by 370 millimeters. Just enough, just as much as they can, and they put a thing that says, please do not fold or roll smaller than 6 inches in diameter, because that is because they have RGB. Very important.
Where's the crafter?
Fun tube that is. It uses a Type-C plug, and it even comes with a little splitter here, so you can plug into 2 Type-A connectors if you don't have the Type-C that can provide enough power to power this whole thing. And then, of course, as you can probably see, it's RGB, addressable RGB, which right now is just doing the default rainbow effect. So thank you to Hype for sending these over. Thanks to any of you guys who also were able to help contribute and donate to the Hype fundraiser they were having a few weeks back. We just moved back into the office, so I know one of these could probably go on my desk, but my wife might want 2, maybe. But then Joe said he wants 1 too, so maybe Joe and my wife. I'll deal with the standard non-RGB mouse. I'll be fine either way, I'm sure. But guys, that's it from here in my office. Thank you all for watching my videos and my channel over the past year plus that I've been reporting from here. I'm still going to be making videos, posting videos, and all that sort of thing. This is just sort of an inflection point, a transition point, and as soon as we cut the cameras here, we're going to be packing stuff up and getting the move underway, because I need to shoot Tech News on Friday, and I need new sets set up back in my garage in order to do that. But once again, if you'd like to send me something to open up on mail time, the P.O. box is listed down in the video's description. Also, big thank you to anyone who sent stuff today and who asked questions and leave me questions for next month if you want, down in the comments section below. Also, down in the video's description, you can find a link to my store at paulshardware.net. You can buy shirts and mugs and pint glasses and other merchandise to help support my channel. Thank you guys one more time for watching this video. We'll see you in the next one, just not from here.
Hello everyone, this is your Daily Dose of Internet. I really don't know if this is legal, but this guy found an Uber driver that doesn't have arms.
One more squat, easy.
No, hold on.
What is that? That is not my friend. That's a cat.
This suspect tried to sneak out of a police vehicle in Russia.
One was hurt back there bad.
Don't go making that face.
That's what I get for saving people.
This is the mom, and this is the baby chick. So why is there such a huge difference in size? That's because the baby bird was adopted on accident. There's a type of bird that will lay their eggs in the nest of other birds. The host bird will incubate and take care of the egg, thinking it's their baby when it's actually an entirely different species. So I guess Walmart has their own academy where employees can train and graduate to become even Hello everyone, this is your daily dose of internet. I really don't know if this is legal, but this guy caught an Uber driver that doesn't have arms. No, Philadelphia.
What is that? That is not my friend. That's a cat.
This suspect tried to sneak out of a police vehicle in Russia. This is the mom, and this is the baby chick. So why is there such a huge difference in size? That's because the baby bird was adopted on accident. There's a type of bird that will lay their eggs in the nest of other birds. The host bird will incubate and take care of the egg, thinking it's their baby when it's actually an entirely different species. So I guess Walmart has their own academy where employees can train and graduate to become even better employees.
Yo, dude, did you bring the... no, I thought you said to bring the... Did you at least bring the...
I'm a bit nicer.
No. But I brought the... Okay. Well, at least it's not the... That's true. It's true.
Here's a very satisfying way to make pizza. One of my subscribers recorded this video to show how jiggly a toad's belly is. That is the end of this video. We hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Later.
I am sick of hearing how smart AI is. I just feel like a kid again, getting compared to my more successful classmates. Except now, all of humanity is the underachiever, and ChatGPT is coming for our lunch money. Or is it? To figure out if AI is as intelligent as it seems, I challenged one to a battery of tests designed to figure out who is smarter, or if we're even smart at all. Experts! Thank you to our patrons for supporting the channel, and to Fiverr for sponsoring this video. So, ChatGPT has been doing a little too much. From graduating from MIT, to passing the bar, to qualifying for a US medical license, it's impressive. But even more than that, it's also just surprising. Because 3 years ago, when Melissa and I were using GPT-2, it was generating mac and cheese recipes without the mac. Now, in just 3 years, ChatGPT taught me how to make this.
Extended light mag here. Level 1.
And it's good. These improvements are a result of better models trained with high-quality data, fine-tuned with a human touch, and run on exponentially better computing power. Now, a lot of that data might be stolen, and a lot of that polish might come from exploitative and traumatic labor, and a lot of that computing power might use up a lot of valuable resources, like drinking water. But despite those very valid reasons to slow down or refocus AI development to clean up the mess we've already made, I just don't think that's gonna happen because apparently there's $4.4 trillion to be made, according to a company that fixed bread prices in Canada for 14 years. So in this video, we are going to figure out how intelligent AI has become and whether it's more intelligent than us. So what does it mean to be insight-telligent? You can trust that etymology. I'm a person on the internet. Now, humanity's journey to answering this question is full of terrible vibes, so that we're just gonna leave over there. However, what you need to know is that psychologists eventually settled on intelligence to mean the ability to derive information, learn from experience, adapt to the environment, understand, and correctly utilize thought and reason. Now, you might think that is a needlessly wordy definition, but I see it for what it is. A BuzzFeed-style listicle. We got content, right? Reason. Now, you might think that is a needlessly wordy definition, but I see it for what it is. A BuzzFeed style
Don't
listicle.
do that. Don't make those sounds.
Go ahead, that's our friend
The
Tom.
type of shit you should not be allowed to do.
GPT-4 on intro, certified, and advanced
No
sommelier
taking
theory.
default sounds
No.
on.
Eventually, we settled on these tests. Wow, that's a lot. For defining information, we are using the law school admission test reading comprehension portion, where we need to derive the best answer based off of a passage. Not just the right answer, mind you, the best answer. I hate lawyers. For learning from experience, we are using the abstraction and reasoning challenge, which challenges you to complete a task based only on a few demonstrations. That sounds neat. It's just pixel art. It's fun. I've got nothing to add. For environmental adaptation, I decided to use the most important environment. Society. We live in one. To figure out how well adjusted we are using Truthful QA, a question set that is designed to capture common misconceptions. Gotcha! To measure understanding, we are sampling from the massive multitask language understanding benchmark. Its questions span 57 subjects and range in difficulty from elementary school to the professional level. I pay taxes. Finally, to measure thought and reason, we are going old school and using an IQ test that can qualify you for Mensa, the oldest high IQ society with the lowest IQ brand story, Men's. Now, if both an AI and I write these tests, we can figure out who is intelligent based off our answers and who is more intelligent by comparing our scores. I was originally planning on building and training my own AI for this project, but then I remembered how all of my other AI projects have gone. This machine just prioritizes the lives of cats.
Calling in a lifeline package.
I just don't think that anything that I'm going to be able to build on my own is going to be a fair representation of what is out there in the world right now, the finest of AI. So, I'm gonna need a bit of help. Luckily, there's this video sponsor, Fiverr. In a world that is changing fast, Fiverr freelancers are adapting even faster, with services ranging from developing AI models to generative content fact-checking and editing. Fiverr has expert freelancers who can help you harness AI and take it to places that technology can't do on its own. Now, I needed to make sure that I was competing with a machine at the top of its game, so I needed help from a pro. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it is a little bit scary sharing a project that I care so much about with somebody new. I wasn't sure if they would get it or if they would even be able to help. However, a lot of those fears went away after I got to speak with freelancers like Sasha, Thomas, and Ahmed. They asked these really great questions that helped me figure out what I actually wanted the AI to do, and they made sure that I was spending my money wisely. Eventually, I decided to work together with Thomas, not only because he had some great ideas on how to build the project, but also how to approach this video's big question.
Building these models, we're learning a lot about the nature of intelligence. Best way to learn is to build it and see how it works.
Thomas and his team either found or built the options that best fit my project needs, budget, and timeline, which is a great reminder that human input is key to any AI project's success. He put all that together to make this. Is my favorite part. It has night mode. Didn't even ask for that. It uses text-based GPT-4 and multimodal mini GPT-4 APIs to parse questions and provide answers. We also worked together to add some features that would meet my specific needs, like a test archive and CSV exports. It was really great being able to leave a project that I cared about in capable hands so that I could focus on making the rest of the video. So, if you are looking to implement AI into your work or need some human eyes on AI-generated content, I really recommend working with a Fiverr freelancer. Check out this link in the description to find incredible AI services and more, and be sure to use the code AnswerInProgress to get 10% off. Now all I need to do is feed the questions into the AI and let it run, while I write the tests somewhere else. Because of academic integrity, I would definitely look at the AI and cheat off it. So, I got printing.
Replicator on its way down.
Come on, what is going
What the? Oh, I got hit from both sides. Both sides. Just one coming up.
$40. I got printing. And printing. And writing. Epicurus conceives of death as which of the following? In the site. And printing. And writing. Identify what is silly about this image. These birds. And printing. and writer. Michigan grad, known for running multiple companies in software and tech, all-around genius, first name Elon. I also did the ARC challenge on my iPad. Alright, 9 hours and 679 questions later, I am done. Finished. There's nothing left in me. I thought that I was gonna have fun, but I guess it was just amnesia, because it's been years since I graduated, and I forgot how much I hate writing tests. They're terrible. Oh my god. But luckily, now that I am done, and it looks like the AI is too.
Yeah, oh my god, we don't have any more time for you right now. No offense, please. It's none intended. Do not have that. We're gonna go here to
Sony has decided to increase the annual cost of every PlayStation Plus tiers. Now they all feel like PS Plus Premium. That's part of the appeal. Yeah! I'm Luke Laugh Out Loud, this is Game Linked, and these are the new prices, which were hiked up by up to $40 for the premium tier. The lowest tier, Essentials, the one required for online play, is $20 more annual. But to soften the blow, Sony decided the best way to break the news was to very subtly add it to their September PS Plus monthly games announcement. You have to scroll down. Keep going, a little farther. There it is. Xbox also increased the price of Game Pass back in July, and I guess out of respect, Sony decided to make their price increase even bigger, just to make Microsoft look a little bit better. Sony says the increase will let them continue bringing games to their subscription service. Yet, both Team PlayStation and Xbox are giving smaller subscription deals to indie developers. I mean, how can Devolver Digital compete with the quality of PlayStation's upcoming September offerings, like the critically acclaimed Saints Row reboot? Redfall. Wow, amazing! Larian Studios' director of publishing pointed out the best way to support developers is to buy the games that you like, rather than renting 10 games you like and 350 games you don't every month. And I strongly agree. Starfield reviews went live this morning ahead of its imminent release, but silly things like release dates or actually playing the game haven't stopped gamers from concluding it's both a 10 out of 10 Game of the Year masterpiece and the game version of Pongska. Despite this, Todd Howard insisted on Reddit that Bethesda has gaming's smartest fans. We'll have to take his word for it. Just like all these takes from reviewers, Andrew Webster of The Verge concluded that the game is fantastic, and the Washington Post claims it makes good on its promises. Other outlets aren't as favorable, like Rock Paper Shotgun, who pointed out that maybe the actual map of a major city shouldn't look like you still need to reveal it by climbing a tall building or something. Nicole Carpenter of Polygon opened her review by saying, "With Starfield, Bethesda's ambition has exceeded its craft." A weird thing to say so long after Fallout 76 was released. All is not lost, Bethesda fans, because Elder Scrolls 6 is in early development nearly 5 years after being announced. Man, when that game comes out, I won't be leaving my bed, because I'll be too weak from old age.
Someone call the ambulance.
Activision is testing TalkSmog, an AI-powered moderation feature for Call of Duty's voice chat, because they figure Big Brother is less scary if he's faceless and a robot. Currently, the company is beta testing the tech with North American players, but expects to launch it globally when Modern Warfare 3 comes out. TalkSmod is made by a company called Modulate, and Activision claims it can detect toxic speech in real time, so gamers can feel safer knowing TalkSmod is always listening, like an omnipresent and prudish god.
Thou shalt not curse.
Or shall be banned.
No hard R's.
Thankfully, the AI isn't able to ban players, only flag potential chats that are then stored in Modulate servers for further investigation by actual humans. That doesn't entirely fill me with hope and optimism.
There's one more down over here, always killing me.
All that forgiving. For example, Xbox just rolled out their strike-based enforcement system, and at least one Redditor got a strike and a 2-day suspension for typing the horribly offensive characters WTF. I mean, what the heck? Come on! Freaking take off, you hosers! Me people! Now it's time for Quick Bits, brought to you by Secret Lab. When you're grinding out those long gaming sessions, your tush needs as much support as your teammates do. Their Titan Evo 2022 chair keeps you comfortable with its 4-way lumbar support, magnetic memory foam head pillow, 4D adjustable armrests, and more. They even have a 5-year extended warranty, so you can avoid those game over screens. And by you, we mean your butt. And by game over, we mean booty pay. Head to the link in the description and check out Secret Lab today. We don't do the quick bits because they're easy. We do them because we're contractually obligated. CD Projekt Red said during its latest earnings call that developing Phantom Liberty as Cyberpunk 2077's only expansion was a technological decision, meaning, of course, that it was made with computers, but also refers to the fact that the developer is shifting away from Red Engine, its own internal game engine, in favor of Unreal Engine 5, which over 250 developers are now using to build the next Witcher game, which the studio probably needs to launch maybe a little sooner rather than later, given its recent reported profits. Studies do show that the profit margin is very, very low on free DLCs. Microsoft has hired a former PlayStation exec to try and court partnerships with Japanese developers, according to both news reports and noted regular dude Phil Spencer himself. Spencer has acknowledged the demand for original Japanese games in the past, and it struggled to attract Japanese developers because of its tiny presence in the Japanese market. Maybe you should try naming your console something easier to say in Japanese.
Just for context.
What?
Xbox シリーズ X.
That's Xbox?
Yep.
Wow.
PlayStation is PlayStation.
That sounds a lot better. Veteran developer Volition is shutting down 3 decades after its founding, as part of the restructuring of its parent company, Embracer. Effective immediately, the shutdown seems to have surprised the studio. The official Twitter account for Saints Row was posting and answering questions 2 days before the announcement. The Saints Row series was Volition's greatest success, which began as an obvious, if well-executed, GTA clone. But although the series developed its own zany, anarchic style early on, it ended with a 2022 franchise reboot that belly flopped like a mobster wearing cement shoes.
Swim with the fishes.
Yeah.
Fishes spelled with PH.
Nintendo has unveiled new details about the upcoming Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which appears to have taken inspiration from Dark Souls? During online play, players will be able to see and help the shadows of other players running alongside them when they're on the same level.
That's why it's just like Dark Souls. You can ask Eurogamer, ask Game Freak. It's the same.
There are also new power-ups, including one that turns Mario and friends into elephants. However, it's not yet clear whether any of the power-ups will unlock the true ending, where Luigi is reborn as a squid-like eldritch deity fated to destroy humanity. And cult classic Beyond Good and Evil is getting a new life on modern consoles, according to a leak by the ESRB. They accidentally put a rating summary of Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition up on their site before quickly removing it. We don't know much, but it's clear this edition is meant to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the 2003 title and the 15th anniversary of the announcement of its unreleased sequel. There's always next year.
Next year. The next one.
And the next. And then you get Skull and Bones. And then it happens all.
You get Skull and Bones. You get Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline.
But you shouldn't wait 15 years to come back for more gaming news. The sequel to this episode comes out on Tuesday. Take that, Ubisoft.
Hello, Galaxy. I'm Chris Perillo, and this is my view in Fewer Than 2. X. Not doing anything weird right now, which in and of itself is really weird. But there is this update to their privacy policy, allowing the company to collect biometric information for safety, security, and identification purposes, which is interesting because looking at verified badge required similar data. Well, maybe not biometric, but certainly other forms of ID. Plus jobs, education. Effectively, this I'm not going to say is great news. It's interesting news because many people used Twitter as it was. And certainly in its current incarnation, X, to make connections with other people. So the news goes further. Oh, hang on just a second. Someone's following me on Twitch. Never mind. The Midnight Smith just resubscribed. Live.Perillo.com going on behind me. Josh is building his first 3D printer tonight, too. Live. 24/7. Live.Perillo.com. But Elon has also come out, even though there's no date that's been planted, come out and said that X users are going to be able to use X. I almost said Twitter. I need a jar. I need to send a jar every time I say Twitter instead of X. To make video and audio calls without sharing a phone number. So again, this is interesting to me because people are using Twitter. Where's the penny? Pretend there's a jar. So they're using X to make job connections. I've done that in the past. I've scored gigs that way. And certainly to connect with other people, at least by way of DM. So, using X to make audio and video calls makes sense. This is how I feel people would be using it anyway. So this is a very interesting direction, and I wish them the best because I don't have the luxury of quitting one network or another. I just don't, because I have to connect with people where they are. So I may have feelings about various platforms, but as far as I'm concerned, this is starting to make a little more sense to me. Now, can they stick the landing? That remains to be seen. Is this interesting to you?
The Halo reboot that nobody wants. Now this topic has gotten a lot of traction over the last few days, especially after Hidden Xperia. Luke did his video yesterday, and this is such an important topic, I figured I'd weigh in my thoughts as well. And if you can't tell by my title, I think a reboot of Halo is a terrible idea. So in this video, I'm going to explain why I think it's a bad idea, why the executives at Microsoft might take this path going forward, and what we can do as a community to show a united front and saying, look, this is a bad idea, terrible idea even, please don't do this. So first up today, where does this all come from? If you haven't watched Hidden Xperia's video, he basically says that Brian McCaffrey, who's an IGN reporter, has been testing Halo games and doing interviews with all the high-ups at 343 and Microsoft executives for years. And he said just a gut feeling, but given the senior staff departures and layoffs suffered at 343 since Infinite has released, and Halo Infinite has not had the big impact it was supposed to have, he thinks the next mainline Halo game is going to be a reboot. And straight up what I'm going to say is that Halo Infinite didn't have the success it was going to have because Microsoft executives forced it out the door when it wasn't ready. You can't release a half-finished game, regardless of how good the gameplay is, and expect people to stick around. There was also no follow-up content, or very, very minimal content, the first year. It was like 3 new maps in the first year. If the game launched the way it was now, you would have a thriving population. Now, I understand Microsoft were probably pretty frustrated with 343 that had 6-7 years to make Halo Infinite and it still wasn't ready, but the people responsible for that aren't at the studio anymore. If you want Halo to be popular again, or more popular than it is now, just make a good game. Make a fun game. People ask me saying, Remy, if you were 343, or if you were in charge of the Halo franchise, what would you do? And I summed it up in a couple dot points. If you wanted Halo to have a really big success in a new generation of gamers, I would just focus on creating a fun game, first and foremost, a game you can play the same map or mode, or even mission for 1,000 times and it's still fun. I would build on the pre-existing themes of the Halo universe, respect the history of the franchise, no microtransactions, don't release the product until it's truly ready, don't chase trends, that's the big one, and work with the community based on their feedback to help refine and shape the game. I'm not saying 343 doesn't do any of these, that's what I would personally do. Now if Microsoft wants to reboot the Halo franchise, I feel like there's a really big disconnect there, because that's not what the consumer wants. I mean the fact Halo 4 took such a drastic turn after Halo Reach, that Halo had to reinvent itself when it already was this unique sci-fi shooter that was beloved by millions, didn't need to have this huge change. And that's what I don't want to see here. I don't want to see this huge reboot when, to be honest, I don't think the original Halo trilogy, Halo Combat Evolved 2 and 3, can be told in a better way than it's already been done. I don't like the remakes of the new Call of Duties. I think the story is worse. I think there's a lot of capitalization on nostalgia to try to sell copies, but also from the wider forms of media like movies and TV shows. There's a lot of remakes, there's a lot of reboots because they're safe. Big corporations don't want to take risks anymore. And that leads me into the Halo TV show. If that's the level of quality we can expect of a rebooted Halo story that takes elements of what we know and is recreated as a new story, I'm sorry, but that's just not good enough. What the Bungie trilogy currently does is act as a concrete foundation for the rest of the franchise. For all the heat that 343 has received over the past 2 years, whenever I do an original trilogy video, whether it be mods or an MCC update, everybody loves it. And you reboot the series, and you do a bad job of that, you destroy that concrete foundation that Bungie built all those years ago. So the fact that it could be an easy sell, a safe sell, for Microsoft to turn a profit, that could be a reason why the executive might be playing a reboot. It's also been the case for a while. Ever since Bonnie Ross did that interview, she said the current Halo fans and the current Halo audience are holding Halo back. They might want to start fresh. They might want a new generation of Halo fans, and that is their plan on how to do it, which I fundamentally disagree with.
Total another team here.
It'll be very, very popular because to this day there are millions upon millions of Halo fans that just want a fun game to play. There's been a huge resurgence in popularity for very well done single-player narratives. You nail a Halo campaign and that will sell so damn well. You add on every other feature that Halo is supposed to have and you'll have a damn fun game. Now, as we know, the management has changed quite a lot. 343 is doing a much better job with Halo Infinite nowadays, and I would like to see that momentum continue. I want to build on that. Continuation of Halo Infinite's campaign that's fully fleshed out would be so damn fun to play. Imagine Halo Infinite's campaign, the open world, designed the way it was supposed to be. Or even if you had a linear campaign with a select couple open areas, people would love that. The art style of Halo Infinite, or Halo in general, is the best it's been in years. Why would you mess that up? And the gameplay of Halo Infinite was the modernization 343 has been striving for over 10 years. Why would you mess that up either? The main complaint people had about Halo Infinite on launch was a lack of content. I don't even think people would have cared as much about the monetization if the content was there. So personally, I think a reboot is a terrible idea because it isn't just a retelling of the story. Steve Downes, the voice of Master Chief, Jen Taylor, the voice of Cortana, gone. New voice actors, we may not even get the Arbiter story ever again. I think Halo is such a vibrant, diverse franchise that there are so many stories to tell. A reboot isn't necessary. There's also the matter that there's so many people already invested in the overall story, the game franchise as a whole. You're gonna wipe the slate clean. A lot of people are gonna feel like they're
got a tower or something? You don't need to get me. Craft me later.
On the flip side of that, Microsoft might see that Halo Infinite isn't making the money it wants it to make. They might see the population isn't where it wants to be, and they might say, we don't care. We're making a reboot. This is how it's gonna be. And that's why a video like this is so important. If we collectively as a community say, look, you want to build up the Halo community, a reboot is not the way to do it. Here are some other ways for you, Microsoft, and 343 to go about it to build up the game franchise as a whole. Completely wiping the slate clean of over 20 years of Halo history is not the way to go about it. So guys, I'm going to pose the question to you. Should Halo be rebooted? Yes, no, why not? I think there's so many better ways to build up the Halo franchise than deleting 20 years of history. The biggest one being just make a fun game at launch with every feature a Halo game should have and release that. If you're making a game through the next fortnight, then Microsoft, you are going to be disappointed. Focus on Halo's strengths, do that to the best of your ability, work with the Halo community to make the game as good as it can be, and you'll have a successful franchise for many years to come. It is that simple. So thank you all for watching. Very important video today, but I hope you all enjoyed nonetheless. Look forward to hearing what you guys have to say. I'll see you guys back again tomorrow for the brand new Halo Infinite update. Thank you all for watching.
I am sick of hearing how smart AI is. I just feel like a kid again, getting compared to my more successful classmates. Except now, all of humanity is the underachiever, and ChatGPT is coming for our lunch money. Or is it? To figure out if AI is as intelligent as it seems, I challenged one to a battery of tests designed to figure out who is smarter, or if we're even smart at all. Experts! Thank you to our patrons for supporting the channel, and to Fiverr for sponsoring this video. So, ChatGPT has been doing a little too much. From graduating from MIT, to passing the bar, to qualifying for a US medical license, it's impressive. But even more than that, it's also just surprising. Because 3 years ago, when Melissa and I were using GPT-2, it was generating mac and cheese recipes without the mac. Now, in just 3 years, ChatGPT taught me how to make this.
I'm in the ring already.
And it's good. These improvements are a result of better models trained with high-quality data, fine-tuned with a human touch, and run on exponentially better computing power. Now, a lot of that data might be stolen, and a lot of that polish might come from exploitative and traumatic labor, and a lot of that computing power might use up a lot of valuable resources, like drinking water. But despite those very valid reasons to slow down or refocus AI development, also, it's really nice to know, so I asked Blood if I could talk about chess boxing, and then he never responded, so then I just decided to say it anyways. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna say it, I'll just link it anyway. So I was worried that Blood was gonna be mad at me, but he's not mad at me, so I mean he didn't say he was mad at me, but he messaged me about something else and didn't seem mad, so I was like, oh my god, he's not mad. So I was a little nervous, but yeah, he wasn't angry that I'm like talking about it, and I'm just making it my entire, it's like my entire off-stream stuff to worry about. So yeah, it's promotion, exactly.
Video sponsored by Squarespace. One of my friends from the internet just asked a fantastic question. It is, let's say you need to make $2,000 a month to fuel your goals as a podcaster. Just $2,000. What would you say is the best way to get to the first $2,000 in MRR? I love the question. Gonna give you two answers. One's a little bit quicker. It's gonna get you the money faster, but it's gonna be continuous effort throughout the duration of you getting that money. Two's gonna take a little bit longer, but not as long as you might think. And the great thing about it is truly recurring revenue that could eventually become passive. That one's 100% the most important.
When folding phones first came to the market, I think it's safe to say that we all thought the technology was pretty cool, right? Whether or not you want to buy one or use one is a completely separate question, but the fact that you could take a screen and literally bend these things in half without them shattering into like a million pieces was really cool, right? Like even 4 years later, I look at this, I'm like, screens shouldn't be able to do this. This should just break, but I mean, it's crazy stuff. We can do it now, it's really neat, but in terms of the devices themselves, I feel like we've hit this point of like static foldable phones, especially when it comes to North American accessible folding phones. So in front of me are a bunch of Samsung devices, and this is an Oppo device. These are all great phones, but there's a reason why so few tech reviewers actually use folding phones. We have access to this stuff, we play with them, we test them out, but in terms of like a device that you want to use every day as your regular phone, these things have baggage, man. These things are bigger, they're heavier, the battery life is worse on a foldable phone. It's arguable that most people, even if they have access to this stuff, even if they have the money to buy the stuff, just don't want a folding phone. They want a slab phone. But recently I was sent this thing. This is the Honor Magic V2. Now I need to be really clear, this is a Chinese phone, and there's a ton of marketing and advertisement around this device right now. There's a ton of YouTube ads, and this video it's not a sponsored video. If anything, I would argue for people not to buy this thing if you're uncomfortable with the Chinese phone. But I want to draw your attention to this phone because it just changes the perspective of what I thought folding phones should be or what they're capable of today. Because anything I've seen before all the Samsung stuff was just so far behind what this thing is. Okay, I'm going to just draw your attention to one phone here. This is going to be the flagship Samsung phone, the Z Fold 5. And if you take a look at just the thickness of the phone first, let's start there. This is their latest and thinnest phone. This is the Honor, and it's way thinner. This is 9.9 millimeters. It's very thin. It's barely thicker than even a regular iPhone like slab phone. It's like 2 millimeters thicker or like less. It's really, really thin. And then the weight. This Honor Magic V2 is lighter than the Samsung flagship, the Z Fold 5, and it's even lighter than the iPhone 14 Pro Max, which is a slab phone. It's kind of nuts. Like, it's a device that has a lower weight than a bunch of slab phones out there, but this thing is a folding phone. Like, full-blown folding screen. And it's an awesome set of screens. Both the inside screens and the outer screens are bright, they're fast, they're great for playing games, they're just awesome for media. These are surprisingly good screens, with pen support for both the outer and inner displays. I would have assumed that because this device is significantly thinner and lighter than a lot of the other foldables out there, that they would have had to skimp out on the screen. Not intentionally, but because it's got less weight, that you can't, they can't use regular hardware in there to drive these screens, and maybe they couldn't get it as bright, or maybe they have to be slower, but they're not. Also, this is the first foldable phone out there. Not that this is super important, but if you play games, if you do anything on a regular slab phone that uses the regular layout of a slab phone, you can do it on this phone because it's got the regular aspect ratio of a slab phone. Like, this is 20:9, or similar to the aspect ratio, but I can play Pokemon Unite or any game really on the front screen without any kind of compromises. Every other folding phone out there, you just don't get a full slab phone experience on that front screen until this thing. And when it comes to the form factor, I can't help but wonder, like, why didn't Samsung just do this in the first place? Why, like, it makes no sense to me that if you're making a foldable phone for the first time, why would you make a different form factor than what people are used to? Like, it's actually really weird. When you think about it, like, we're used to the way that Z Folds are now, okay? So, like, yeah, this seems normal, right? This is one of the originals, but, like, even the current one. Why would you do this when you have the entire world used to a very particular form factor already, like on a regular foldable? Why wouldn't you just stick to that form factor and make it fold? Like, why
Why tweak that? It's so weird to me. And all of the apps, all of the games that used to run on screens like this, just they didn't work on foldable phones. You either played in weird aspect ratio on the outside screen or an extra weird aspect ratio on the inside screen. And like, this just makes so much more sense to me. Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, so it's got great performance, but then the other thing that's crazy is the battery size. This thing has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. And the way they've done it though, I looked into this, it's not a regular lithium ion battery. It's still lithium ion, but there's a change in the anode material. So it uses silicon carbon instead of the traditional graphite material. And this makes the battery, or rather allows the battery to be a bit more energy dense. And then also the hinge. So this hinge is apparently a 3D printed titanium hinge cover that houses titanium components for a device that's supposedly rated for 400,000 volts, which is double what the Samsung devices are rated for. Now, I don't know how accurate that rating is, but the fact that they're using this super thin and lightweight hinge design, and Samsung isn't, how? Why? What's going on here, man? And if you look at the size of the thing, Fold 5, Honor Magic V2. What am I looking at? How is this thing so much thinner than the latest phone from Samsung? Now, keep in mind that there's camera humps, right? So the camera hump that is on the Honor is pretty chonky. You look at the way that it, that it extends out. It's a big camera bump. Compare this to the Fold 5. Again, thinner phones, you're just housing more of that camera element on the outside of the phone, but still really cool, man. I don't know. When I look at this technology, when I look at what they've done, it makes me, I mean, if you're interested in a phone like this, if you're okay with the software, sure, go for it. I think it's global launch. I think if you live outside of China, you can readily pick the thing up soon. But what makes me most excited about this is I think we're at the cusp of folding phones actually becoming good. Actually becoming to the point where people would want to use it. That's always been the thing. Anytime I show a foldable phone to any of my friends or relatives, they're like, that's really cool when they see the screen. And then they pick it up like, God damn, that's so big, that's so heavy. And then they read about the battery life, they're like, nah, I'm good with my slab. But this new battery technology, 3D printed titanium hinges, super thin, super light, this is the thing that I feel like foldable phone technology really all about.
What the fuck? Bro, more. What is wrong with this app? Oh my god, this is the dumbest fucking app ever.
You're gonna need to work a bit harder next time.
Take her somewhere that isn't in the middle of nowhere.
Samsung isn't?
No problem.
Why?
What's going
I'm surprised you like going over here more than over there. I didn't mean to switch directions to go over here, but okay.
Are we alone?
Oh yeah, of course.
Hey, mira, got some enemies right here.
Yeah, okay, great. You guys are liars. Fuck off.
We're coming for you, Doug.
In 2010, Intel launched something truly extraordinary. The first user-upgradable processor, the Pentium G6951. And thank goodness they did, because now, just a short 13 years later, I'm finding it a little sluggish for my daily computing, and I can't wait to unlock hyper-threading and that sweet, sweet megabyte of extra cache. Only, got Windows 7, I've got my
upgrade card. I just can't seem to find the Intel upgrade program. Hi, Intel? What do you mean you don't offer upgrade service for my CPU anymore? This is a more common situation than you might think, where you buy into a service or a hardware product that has add-ons available, only to discover that one day when you go to use them, they vanish without so much as a, oh, sorry about that. Why does this happen? Who is responsible? And is there any justification for this business practice? The only way to know is apparently to scan this barcode to our sponsor.
MSI!
Fuck
MSI's
is
back to
this?
school sale is on now. Looking for a new laptop for next semester? They got those. What about a desktop PC? Yep, got those too. Components for an upgrade? Yeah, they do
I'm
got
the
them.
jump master.
MSI's back to school sale below.
There's no question that the G6951 was bad, but that doesn't mean that all hardware as a service products are equally bad. Extended warranties, for example, can be costly, but if they're fairly priced, and you read the fine print, they can be an effective way to ensure that your expensive TV or laptop will be serving you for years to come, even if something goes wrong. Then there's service contracts, which are kind of like extended warranties on steroids. That NetApp storage appliance that we picked up recently comes with ongoing maintenance costs, which sucks for your wallet, but ensures that your business won't experience unnecessary downtime. Another example of hardware with ongoing costs that make sense is anything that requires periodic calibration, like a home theater projector or a scientific instrument. Our colorimeters for testing displays, for example, need to be checked and certified against a known good, or you wouldn't be able to trust our results. In all of these cases, though, the after-purchase costs at least add potential value to our hardware. Let's shift gears back to the Pentium G Nice 51 for a bit, though. Here's how Intel's pitch went back in 2010. You could pick up the chip, either by itself or in a system from, let's say, Best Buy, and out of the box, you'd have 2 cores and 2
Who opened
threads
those
running at
bins down
2.8
here?
gigahertz, all for the attractive price of just $50. Which, yeah, that's not actually that cheap, but hey, that's what happens when one half of your duopoly is busy seeing how many Winchester rounds it can fire into its own foot. Don't worry about that, though, said Intel. For when you get tired of your entry-level performance, you can simply purchase a card with an unlock code on it for $50 more. Ours here is obviously fake, but the idea was that you would scratch the scratch card film, install Intel's activation software, plunk in your code, and bam! You just doubled your thread count from 2 to 4 and added extra cash, all without ever breaking out the thermal compound or a screwdriver. Pretty good thing these things didn't take off, or how would I sell these things? But why didn't it take off? I mean, on the surface, it's actually kind of a cool idea. It did come with some big problems we'll touch on later, but first, the supposed benefits. A major one is the theoretical lack of e-waste. Think about all the GT1030s out there. They start their life on the shelf, they end up in your computer until, inevitably, they're too slow, and ultimately end up at the recycling. If instead we just had fewer products within the stack physically, which could then have performance features turned on or off based on the price you paid, we'd have a lot more one-card-fits-all solutions. This would also alleviate the need to purchase a brand new product when you want a performance uplift. You could just save up a few bucks and abracadabra, your 4050 is now a 4060 Ti. How cool would that be? I mean, knowing NVIDIA, that would still be an expensive upgrade, but socially anxious people around the world would rejoice over not having to list their old card on Facebook Marketplace, haggle with some jackass, sell it, then go pick up a new card from the local retailer. It's kind of like a layaway, except you get to use the cheaper but worse product while you wait to afford something better. Don't get me wrong, guys, I can hear you shouting at me through the screen. If the product can physically do X, then that capability should be unlocked out of the box. And to be clear, I agree with you, but there are a plethora of situations where we accept these kinds of practices already. Look at NVIDIA's workstation GPUs, for example. They are often, literally, the exact same hardware as their consumer ones. But They might include features, or especially certifications, that cost NVIDIA extra time and money. Certifications that will only be used by a small subset of their customers. So those customers who care get to pay extra. And there was a significant amount of backlash against me when I called out Tesla for paywalling the heated rear seats in the Model 3. I mean, my argument was, hey, the hardware is present in every single unit that Tesla builds, so if they can afford to deliver it to the people who don't pay for it, then surely they can afford to just include it. But the reasons that they do that are because it streamlines production at the factory, and then they just kind of massage the pricing so that the people who do want that feature subsidize those installs for the rest of the people who don't. And even though, again, for me, I was like, really? Many Tesla owners were stoked on being able to just change their mind later and activate the feature. So it is an idea that can work without taking off our customers. But that is not the sentiment that surrounded our little pen team here. For one thing, the value of this product was pretty questionable. I mean, why buy this thing at all when you could have gotten a Core i3 530, a chip that includes hyperthreading by default, for just $25 more? And, making matters worse, the upgrade was actually tied to the motherboard. So, if you wanted to sell the upgraded version of your CPU down the line, good luck. That also means that if your motherboard happened to die, or you wanted to replace it with something with more I/O, you would have to request a new activation code and rerun the upgrade. Because, yeah, that's the first thing I want to do after changing out my motherboard. Thanks, Intel. Of course, that's a relatively minor issue compared to what we encountered, which was the inability to perform the upgrade at all. I mean, sure, this is a 13-year-old CPU that is not getting security updates anymore, and realistically, nobody wants to spend $50 to make it ever so slightly less slow. But Intel actually discontinued this program well within the reasonable lifespan of its product, just 3 short years later. What recourse do we have when companies, especially publicly traded ones, are fickle, profit-hungry entities that can alter the deal on us at a moment's notice? Let's look at another example that's from Intel, but today. Earlier this year, they announced that VROC, Virtual RAID on CPU, which is an enterprise RAID solution that's featured on Xeon scalable processors, would be discontinued. But then, 4 days later, OEMs were advertising VROC support on freshly announced products. So, which one is it, Intel? They did quickly backpedal and say, the feature is under evaluation, and since there's a significant demand, we'll continue.
What are you doing, Stinks?
But it's like someone's head was on the chopping block, and the executioner raised his axe, and it was only because someone noticed and went, oh wait, hold on, don't chop on that it got a short stay of execution. I mean, until when, Intel? Personally, I'm also just tired of this post-sales nickel and diming. Did you see that GM is dropping support for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay? That's right. Soon they're going to be using their own flavor of Android Automotive, which is completely integrated within the vehicle, nothing to do with your phone. And it'll be complete with subscription services and potential micro, or who knows, macro transactions. All so they can keep their hand in your pocket after the initial sale. And potentially gets even worse. The support timelines on Android Automotive are certainly generous compared to what we get in our phones. Supposedly in the 10 to 15 year range, but this is a car! I expect it to last longer than 15 years before it just... Oh man, sorry, I guess you're just not getting software updates anymore. Ongoing revenue models, like subscriptions, aren't always just bad. I mean, people used to pirate the heck out of Adobe's Creative Suite because they wanted Photoshop and Lightroom, but they didn't want to spend thousands of dollars on a one-time license. Well, now you can get them for $10 a month, which is a lot more reasonably priced for small-time creators. The flip side of that, though, is companies like ours, who need a lot of licenses for years on end, well, it obviously sucks for us, because we don't necessarily need the new features that they're developing,
And we would have actually preferred to just buy the software once and use it until Adobe releases a feature that really compels us to upgrade. We made a whole video about that a little while back. And the truth is, I don't really know where I'm going with this. I'm not sure if anything that I'm saying is going to change anything. I just want us all to be on the same page. That if we don't do something, don't make noise, if we don't stop supporting the companies who engage in these business practices, we will end up in a dystopian future where suddenly your GPU underclocks itself because you forgot to pay your monthly bill to Team Green. Or on a whim, your gaming console could decide, oh, that online store that we had, well, that's closed because it's much more profitable to sell our back catalog on a new console at a higher price than to just leave the old one open. Oh wait, that's already totally a thing. Oh, hopefully I haven't given NVIDIA any ideas for the future. As for today, anyway, unfortunately, our Pentium G6951 will remain a G6951 and never reach its final form, the G6952. Sorry, little guy, you're stuck like this, with no hypercredit. Like this non-hyper segue to our sponsor. Delete me! Companies are passing around your personal info online without your consent as we speak. It's almost like I can hear it shrieking in pain and embarrassment. Please, just delete me. Delete Me is here to oblige. They'll help you find hundreds of online profiles sharing your personal information, which could be used by scammers to hit you with a barrage of robocalls and spam emails, which are very annoying. And in more extreme cases, it could even lead to identity theft or fraud, which are much worse than annoying. Removing all of this information by yourself would be a huge task and take many hours. But with Delete Me,
You guys are trapped in there. You're fucked.
on average, Delete Me finds and removes over 2,000 pieces of data for a customer in their first 2 years.
You're not
So if you
getting
want to
out
get
of
your
that.
personal information removed from search
I don't
results on
see
the
a
web,
way you
go to
guys can fucking get
joindeleteme.com/linustechtips and use code LTT for 20% off. If you enjoyed this video, maybe check out the one where I talked about Microsoft's monopolistic practices and the Edge browser.
Oh my god! Bought this dress. I was walking around, I was walking around the street, like the shopping street. There was this athletic store where they sell like athleisure clothes, and every other store on the street had no one in it. This athleisure store had like 50 girls just like buying like workout clothes. So then I'm like, wait, why are there so many girls here? Are they like planted, do you think, to get me to buy some stuff? Because it worked. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy I bought a set. I bought a new outfit set. So I bought like some pants and then like a new top that all look cute at the gym. And it was like $150. But it was crazy. There were literally 50 girls just standing around this store. And I feel like it just opened up or something. And it's called CLM. CSB.
We could go try to craft, dude.
Shop CSB. And I was like,
Stay around the edge. Let's go. I'm moving to go try and see if I can get to a crafting.
Before, but for some reason,
We're gonna
there
run
were
into trouble.
thousands and thousands of girls inside it. So of course I had to. Ooh, well, my ass like that. I had to follow the trend and get it. I didn't even try it out. There were just so many girls there. I was so shook. It looks like a regular, it doesn't look like a regular piece of cloth, and it's $52. So I was like, maybe it's really nice or something. Oh my! Oh my god! How am I looking like that? So yeah, I didn't try it out because I'll just get small and hope for the best. But yeah, so I bought that. So now I'll be snatched at the gym. They'll be like, oh my god, are you wearing CSB?
Deathbox.
And I'll be like, yeah, I'm wearing CSB. No, I got
Deathbox is all over here.
I got like a silver color, like a light gray color. So yeah, CVS slay.
So anyways, guys, a couple of years ago, Lee and Lee, they saw what Fantex was doing with the T30, and they basically said, look, we can do T30 performance, but in a much easier to live with package and something that's a lot more adaptable. So what they came out with this year, after years of development, is
you go to the respawn.
P28. Now I know a lot of you are thinking like Unifan, it's right.
Oh, should I?
Associated
I
with
only have 25.
RGB.
I only have 25. I
This
can't
fan
craft them.
actually has RGB, but in a very unique way. I'm gonna get into
I
that
can't
in a
craft
little
them.
bit.
I don't have.
But
I don't
what
have
they
a
did
which
is that
spots,
they
but
launched a
I don't think it's gonna
28
work. He's
millimeter
done.
thick
We're gonna have to get
high
a
performance fan that
mobile
competes
respawn.
technically with the T30, is cheaper, but is it actually better than the T30? Well, yes it is, but no it isn't. I just wanted to address everything about this fan in this video right after a message from our sponsor. Looking for something different from your CPU cooler? Meet Deepcool's new 8K digital series that add a retro-style digital display showing CPU usage and temperature in a straightforward but completely unique and tasteful way. With these, you get one of the most unique air cooling experiences around. The new Deepcool 8K400, 8K500, and 8K620 digital coolers. Performance and innovation combined into awesome-looking coolers for every situation. Find them at the links below. Alright, so kicking things off, the first thing I wanted to talk about here is a common misconception about the P28. Because even though it is 28 millimeters thick on the frame side, the actual mounting holes themselves, thank you very much, Liam Lee, take standard length mounting screws. And that's very important because it's something that P30 doesn't do. I mean, yes, Mantex does give you custom length mounting screws for radiators and whatnot, but this would be the bog standard mounting height. And they've actually done that by recessing those mounting holes by about 3 millimeters. Anyways, from the outside, the P28 doesn't look all that special other than a semi-transparent Liam sticker that shows off the bearing and a subtle polished aluminum design on the two sides. If you don't like it though, you can just yank it off. One of the bigger highlights here though is the use of LCP or liquid crystal polymer for the blades, which is supposed to give it more stability over time, and in turn that allowed Liam Lee to have a tiny 0.6 millimeter gap between the frame and the blades. Technically, this smaller gap also leads to more performance, but if you look at it next to Noctua's A12
Those are just fireworks.
which is spec'd at 0.5 millimeters, it seems to have an even tighter clearance, which is pretty ambitious. Of course, since the P28 is part of Liam Lee's Unifan ecosystem, you can also pull something like this off. So mount multiple fans together without that crazy cable mess that sometimes comes with high-performance fans. And look, there's been plenty of other manufacturers that have tried to pull this off with varying degrees of success or complete disaster. But in the end, this original system is probably one of the best. All you have to do is take a couple of fans together, you find the tabs, push them together, and basically it's done. What you can do is you can go for up to 6 fans, one right after another, off of one single header. And that header sort of plugs in to the end of your fan, like so. You just plug this into the PWM header of your motherboard, and boom, you're off to the races. But there's also a cost for all of this to the tune of $26 per fan for the white or black versions if you buy them individually. Compared to the immediate competition, it's actually not too bad, since so many of these advanced fans these days, with the exception of the P12 Max, tend to put you back $30 or more. Add Lian Li's 6-year warranty to this, and there's definitely some value here if you're looking for a high-end fan. The P28 also comes in 2 flavors depending on what you're looking for. There's the $26 single package that comes with a single 4-pin PWM fan adapter and a $75 triple fan box that comes with a few more goodies. There's a handy extension cable, 3 individual 4-pin adapters, and an inline fan speed controller that puts a cap on the maximum fan speed. Low maxes out at 1300 RPM, medium hits 2200, and high goes up to the fan's maximum peak of 2600 RPM. Now the P28 it actually has one more little trick up its sleeve. Check this out. If you want to, you can buy an optional RGB strip for this thing. Now for a triple pack for this, it costs $20 US, which isn't actually that bad because you get best of both worlds, right? You get a super high performance fan along with what I think looks like absolutely beautiful, not totally in your face, like the fan hub RGB lighting. The only thing that you have to take into account is that, yes, it does add another cable to the Unifan system, so not everything is coming out of that one unified connector. The nice thing about this cable, though, is that it can either connect to Lian Li's L-Connect software through their hub, or it has a 5-volt ARGB header for your motherboard. That, to me, gives the best of both worlds. Now, to connect this thing together is pretty straightforward. All you have to do is yank off one side of the Unifan, replace that cap with one of these RGB caps, and then connect each section together with Lian Li's proprietary connector, and that's it. The only problem I sort of have with this is that it's optional, and it pushes the overall price of 3 fans to just under $100 US. Another interesting thing we noticed while testing these fans is the fact that even though Lian Li claims that their minimum speed is 200 RPM, we use multiple motherboards, multiple pieces of software, and even the fan control software that's available on GitHub. I'm going to leave a link to that down below because it's an amazing piece of software. Every single one of them had these running at a minimum of 800 RPM. Now that is a huge discrepancy, but supposedly it's the way that Lian Li is handling the PWM signal for this motor. It is very, very challenging for a lot of motherboards and a lot of software to pick up properly. But anyways, with that being said, I want you to take a quick listen to what this P28 sounds like, because there's going to be some concerns in there, guys.
You hear that? There's a care package coming down.
My ultimate is ready. We move on my mark.
But overall, this is a very quiet fan, right? Until you hit that 1800 RPM mark. Right above that, we start to get into an issue. Let's listen to between 1800 and 2000 RPM one more time.
I'm under fire. Firing. Taking fire. Healing. Reloading.
So obviously there's a very, very distinct buzzing that enters into the sound profile of the P28 between those 2 points. And for me, that is so disappointing. And it's not only just one sample that we were testing. We never ever do that when we encounter an issue. We always test multiple samples across multiple days, and even a bunch of people listening to it. We tested a dozen different P28s from different batches, and every single one of them had that sort of buzzsaw flavor between 1800 and 2000 RPM, and that is a major problem for Lian Li. Just to give you a perspective about what this means, so from a decibel point of view, if you're going 200 RPM increments, it only increases, this fan only increases about 1 to 1.3 decibels. But in that 200 RPM increment between 1800 and 2000, you're looking at a 2.2 decibel increase. Now when it comes to sound pressure, that is a massive amount. And what does that do for performance? Well, we're going to find out, but first I need to mention that our fan testing's undergone a pretty significant update to be more controlled and repeatable. We've also refreshed the radiator we test on to a more modern EKWB AIO 120. All the details are linked in a document in the description below. I hope you guys check it out because it's pretty important to understand how our methodology has changed and how these results will not line up with previous videos. Let's start with raw CFM without any restriction, and the P28 gives absolutely epic performance here, actually beating the T30 right across the board, making it the best fan we've ever tested. It does plateau around the 42 decibel mark, but the numbers are still huge. Unfortunately, while our results are noise focused, what they don't seem to be reflecting is the unpleasant noise the P28 makes above 1800 RPM. And that's something you need to take into account here too. What the P28 also doesn't have is that extra gear that allows fans like the PPC 3000 and T30 to hit 3000 RPM. So when they're compared at full speed, it tends to slip backwards a bit. Normalize that down to a constant 36 decibels, and it's obvious this thing excels at delivering amazing amounts of airflow at low noise levels. And you can see here it's running at just under 1600 RPM, which is free and clear of that weird buzzing sound. Thank God. But when we put these fans into a bit more realistic situation by mounting them on a radiator, the situation, it sort of flips itself. The P28 is now in a literal dead heat with the T30 until 41 decibels. And then it starts to lose by a bit. Still, matching the thick boy T30 in its natural habitat, well, that's beyond impressive. Now, if you want to blow your ears out by running your radiator fans at full speed, there are other options that will give you better overall performance. But I need to point out that P28 is running at just 2600 RPM here, making it the slowest running fan to reach above 40 decibels. So the P28's real strengths live at lower decibel ranges, where it can get performance that almost matches the T30 while costing less money. And yes, you are safely beyond that buzzing noise at that point. Not to mention, it comes with one of the best interfan mounting systems around. Alright, so that covers the synthetic side of things, but let's move on to some real-world temperature testing on an AIO and also on an actual air cooler. Starting with the EK120 and all the fans running at full speed, we're looking at temperatures that pretty much match the Silent Wings Pro 4, but ultimately get beat by the Mobius OC and T30. Switch over to a more decibel normalized test, and this is where certain slower speed fans can really start to shine. I mean, beating the P30 is almost impossible, but the P28 comes very close to matching it, while also narrowly beating out the P12 Max and the legendary Gentle Typhoon. Air cooling, that's another matter altogether, but don't take this to mean the P28 isn't doing well, because look at the decibel readings here. It's actually one of the best relative to the amount of noise it produces, with the only better fan being the Pro 4. Of course, this doesn't take into account the type of noise coming from the fans, which is also important too, and that's sadly where the P28 tends to fail. And with the final test, the P28 is still super competitive with the best of the best fans on the market when it's mounted to an air cooler and running at 36 decibels. I do have to say though, the Pro 4 might not be the best in synthetics, but it's just a beast on the coolers we're using in real-world testing. Alright everybody, so we've come to the end of this journey, and the question that everybody I'm sure had at the very beginning is, can the P28 compete with the P30? The answer to that is absolutely, but only in very specific, narrow instances. In the vast majority of situations, the T30 will pull ahead. Then again, it's also more expensive, and the Lian Li P28 has that option to add the RGB kits. It's got the Unifan approach, so very, very easy cable management. My only issue with the P28, and it's actually going to be why I'm not going to recommend it, unfortunately, in this video, is the sound profile at certain RPM levels. It's just, in my opinion, it's disgusting. It completely detracts from the overall experience of an otherwise great fan. But if Lian Li can nail that down in maybe upcoming revisions, this will absolutely be a recommendation, but it's not right now. So anyways, I'm Mike with Harvard Canucks. I really hope that you enjoyed this content. If there's any other fans that you want me to look at, put it down in the description below, and you know damn well I'm going to do it. So anyways, I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Have a great day.
Hello, guys and gals. Me, Budahar, and woohoo! Imagine going to jail over Starfield, or any video game for that matter. Now, I love video games. Okay, I've been following the GTA 6 leaks. I was screaming when I saw that. Cyberpunk 2077, loved those leaks. Starfield, no exception. Now, I'm a man that always likes to try to get my games earlier. See a leak, I enjoy it. Actually makes
Sorry,
me more hyped.
I just needed to get myself healed. Well, you got 25 seconds, I'll heal you up. Just stay in this corner.
Last week, and in my opinion, they've all been pretty damn decent. But unfortunately, there had to be a martyr in the situation, and the martyr, ladies and gentlemen, was a individual that is known as Lord Tyrone. Lord Tyrone, for those of you who have no idea who he is, Lord Tyrone is an individual that is currently facing a felony charge for stealing the
There's someone over there.
So to understand, Lord Tyrone is actually Darren Harris, who
Definitely saw one of them robot boys over there.
copies of that game. Dozens of copies, not just one, not just two, dozens, ladies and gentlemen. They got a bunch of them. And because of those copies, it seems as though that some of them ended up on eBay for the price tags of $250, $250. Fuck, here's an entire system.
Should we go or should we go back to the right? Back where we came from and go around.
Standard definition of the game for $200 when early access is like half that price, $250, half of $250, and it's coming out in like a day. Come on now, wait, people. Now, while I'll be streaming Starfield legally tonight, unfortunately, our friend Darren over here, Harris, did not. In fact, what happened over here was, as they had allegedly stolen these copies, possibly started selling them online, one of the individuals from r/gaming leaks and rumors, yes, one of the largest subreddits for gaming leaks and rumors imaginable, ended up, I guess you could say, snitching a little bit, telling the cops a little bit more. So one of the users over here actually told Kotaku, it seems to me that the subreddit is running on threat and services mode mixed with bystander syndrome. They're perfectly willing to ignore a crime that hurts a developer they claim to support. So what happened was the actual subreddit user, Atkins in this case, basically showcased that they communicated with Memphis police, and Bethesda basically reached out and connected this Harrison.
There's one more right over here.
And the idea that this guy was, possibly selling copies of the game online, and they eventually stopped him right there and then. So it's not entirely confirmed if those actions contributed to the arrest. But again, I don't think they would have to worry too much when Lord Tyrone was actually talking about it so openly. Now, well, there's tons of video footage already floating around on the internet. I'm blurring it out, Bethesda. Do not send ninjas to my house. Stop it. One of the original accounts that was connected to this was The Visceral, which I'm going to show you an initial review of this. It's kind of hilarious. Watch this.
I ain't mad. Know what happens. For real. That guy is smooth. For all the gamers out there who want a different type of game, there's definitely something to get. It takes time. You have to read it. Can't just jump into it. Just jump around how it was for me. Todd, no offense, man. That's a good game. Perfect timing. Not leaving the earth and all that. Good stuff.
Now, Harris, while he says the game is really great and all, he definitely says that you should read. It reminds me of when I saw the Cyberpunk 2077 leaker fail to drive the vehicle. I don't think that Lord Tyrone is necessarily the best video game player. In fact, if anything, a video that I ended up watching that's been so far scrubbed away from ZeniMax, where it showcases Lord Tyrone with a copy of Starfield, an Xbox Series X, and about 40 minutes of him bumbling around the game's introductory segment, where I learned that it all starts to make sense. See, he was charged with felony theft, basically property of $2,510,000 US, misdemeanor theft, and misdemeanor possession to a controlled substance. Oh boy! Now, of course, he's since been out on a bond of $10,000. God bless the community freedom. Actually, I think
I'm good where I'm at.
Bond, if anything. But the officers who did a search warrant found that a FedEx package was sealed with a copy of the stolen game, 4 Xbox Series Starfield games, and 2 Xbox Series versions of the game, the upgraded edition. There was also 3 handguns and, of course, marijuana. one of those handguns was reported stolen. So, yeah, Harris is not the smartest criminal in the world. Again, if you've stolen video games, the last thing you want to do is put up the fucking camera and go, hey guys, I did it.
Come down under here.
I mean, that is just some stupidity. Now, for the person who snitched all over it, the subreddit is a little bit pissed. They obviously don't approve of this kind of behavior. In fact, even one of the bots said, we've contraband the guy.
There's two here. Where's?
By the way, not interested in that type of shit. Hell no. Who the fuck would call the cops on such a legendary leaker? I know, Tyrone. He's based. Stop it. Now, all in all, Tyrone may not have even been arrested necessarily for the video game theft. Could have been the weapons, the stolen weapon, possibly. The marijuana possession, which I know Tennessee's not exactly too thrilled about. But, ladies
One
and
more
gentlemen,
son of a
what
bitch.
Tyrone did was actually, without a shadow of a doubt, raise some insane hype for a video game that's launching in, by the time you watch this video, several hours. So, you know what? If Starfield is not a great game, if it turns out to be another bum launch like Cyberpunk, at least we had a great video game leak story. It might be one of the most outlandish leaks that I've seen so far. A person who committed a felony and then boasted about it on camera, released 40 minutes of footage of them bumbling around a video game, all to inadvertently raise hype for Todd Howard's, I guess, next alleged masterpiece. But hopefully Lord Tyrone, kind of gets off scot-free. He seems like a pretty decent guy. Maybe should lay off the weed a little bit, but ladies and gentlemen, wild story, man. Wild situation. Anyways, tune in later today when I stream on YouTube right here for Starfield, ladies and gentlemen. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Just like you dislike it.
Introducing your champion.
Hello everyone, this is yours. This is Amaro.
Everyone's here, champion. It's so nothing. I'm always away, but they're all.
Let's get messy. Hey, mates, let's go, D.
I am trying to test my Pokemon knowledge. To be able to draw any Pokemon from memory. This month alone, I've spent $70 in Pokemon Go. So, to be honest with you, if I don't get every package right, it's kind of a waste of my money. And I think that I'm going to install the app. When I think about Pokemon, they don't sound like their names, right? Like Pikachu. I don't. Okay. Anyways, let's just get on. You know what I mean? Let's do one. Whoopee! What kind of website is this? This unclick artwork. Can I shuffle again? Ride on. Ride on. So we know what Rhydon looks like. When I think of Mirage, Carey, all I want for Christmas is you. Christmas theme, red Pokemon. It's gotta be red. If these drawings look bad at all, okay, it's because I'm drawing on paint. I swear to you, if I had a tablet and could draw like normally, I would be able to draw really well. Come on, let me. I'm envisioning what I do. It looks like a second grader drawing a cat. Okay, come on. This is just the first one. I'm not worried. I'm gonna show you. Okay. But you see the similarities, right? I was going for like, it's like the horn. Do you see the horn? And if nobody wants to hear it, I'll be the first one to say it. This Pokemon is stupid, okay? This looks like a Digimon, right? Nobody needs a Pokemon that looks like a motorcycle. Roll up, alright? Roll up. Okay, next one, Scorbunny. So I'm not gonna have any bunny thing I've got. And I think the Scorbunnies are gray. I think they're gray. That looks bad, okay, but remember, I'm drawing. So, or I'm now. Okay, I swear to God I draw better. Yeah, it wasn't, I was trying to, okay? Surely it won't get demonetized. Put it on, but I'm close. Right? I do need to get more details. Okay, I'll get more details. For its technicality, it does technically have a gray outline. So,
No, you're right. I need to be more detailed. You're right. And I forgot what swap looks like. It literally is just
Every Scott tells a story, mate.
It's easy one. It's so easy, and now I'm mixing it up with something else, and I can't think of what swamp it is, and now I'm kind of upset. Okay, because we talked about muck earlier, and now all I can think about is muck. What is muck backwards? Come. Wait. Why am I remembering Swampert as an evolution of Mudkip? And that's what I'm thinking it is. Swampert is the biggest version of it, right? You got big, meaty claws. Okay? You know, like the Mudkip head. Hold on, wait. Alright, good enough. Okay, it's good enough. Well, he's got a body back here. You don't need to see all that. Okay, you just imagine that there's a body back here. And then he's got those, like, darker blue things on his head. But it's like the little, you know what I'm talking about? Does that make sense? You know what I'm talking about? Little things. And all of this is like a darker blue, and like black up here. Yeah, that's not bad. Watch this. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be the best thing in life. Artwork.
Swimming in
Bro,
steam and ready to win.
I deserve that one. Chat, I actually deserve that one because I was cooking and you see how close it is. I'm kind of like the Banksy of drawing cookies. You know what I mean? Abstract, but you get it. I think this is good. So now, what am I? 1, 2?
This is your champion.
Alright, ready? Huh? What the fuck is a fennekin? Fennekin? If I was going to draw a fennekin in a general chart, what I think a fennekin sounds like. A fish, a goat, a lizard, probably something foreign.
Miny.
How about that? And then feminine ones, don't they make like, where's that? No, that's fem. Isn't it? Isn't it fem? Fem is feminine. When you look at that, you think fennekin, right? Feminine, I think pointy, like the devil. Hold on, wait. That sounds like I'm alluding to the fact that women are devils. No, I'm not saying that, okay? I'm not alluding to that. I'm just saying, I think they would be feminine because of like cute little eyes, like a cat. And then it probably has a body, and likely one would assume based on a fennekin that it has legs, and then maybe like a zappy tail. I'm gonna say that they probably did something to contrast it, adding a little bit of like blue to the tail. I think that's good. Let's see if it's right.
Got an extended energy mag right here. Leather too.
I was so off. It's not even close. I don't even know what is that. Is that supposed to be like a dog? Is it a fox? Is it like a bougie ass fox? This fox like it shops at like the Gucci store. You know what I mean? It's causing me four that walk by me. Like what? It's not even close. Am I over 3? No, I'm 1 to 3, right? Oh, it's got a little salamander body type of thing. Look at the word trust the process. Okay. You've got to trust the process. The ground is not on wheels. Okay. That's not wheels. It's teeth. The portals, they have those little like things. Not the little thin things. Around the neck. You know what I mean? There's fin. There's a fin around his neck. And then there's a collar.
This fucking game. The fucking reloads. I just tried to reload, dude. No fucking way. How does that work? I just tried to reload.
What was left for the ghost part, okay? You're not giving it to me. I got. Oh wait, it doesn't have a stomach or a mouth cover. I guess it doesn't count. I'm 1 to 4. I'm 1 to 4. Saluda. Wait, I think I just called one of these things recently. So like this.
You got his banner?
big eyes and those tiny little stupid wings. And then also have so many of them on Pokemon Go. You wanna die because you can't catch anything else because of the damn Zubat. These are literally what Zubats look like. I already know. I literally already know. So what is the one that I'm? This is what I was drawing. So many wrong. Jeff just spent $70 on Pokemon Go. That's I don't. Chat, please. Skip. Okay, chat. A Dunsparce. Aren't the Dunsparce the little noodle things that look like wieners coming out of the ground? You know what I mean? And then they've got the green on them, like the green and oh no! On top is the purple thing. It's like a light purple thing that goes on their head. That is right. It's literally no, I'm not wrong. That is the one I'm talking about.
There's a beautiful jump pad just sitting here.
What is the one I'm thinking about? Okay, I tried to type in Lily and it came up with Loki. No, I'm not thinking of this guy. So they do have the same hair. Hold on. I think this is what I was thinking.
Enemy over there.
I have 1 to 5. Apelgore. Oh, Appledore. A Cellgore. That's a dumb name. That's a dumb freaking name. Okay, it's stupid. But that being said, I think of that one Pokemon that is 2 butt cheeks. You know what I'm talking about? And then a 2 eye right here. And that little square mouth. You know what Pokemon I'm talking about it? You all know what Pokemon I'm talking about. And did I say Smash in the Pokemon Smash Attack video?
I just tried. They tried to snipe me hard over there.
I would never think that. I would never do that in a million years. What even is this? Who is writing down and said, yeah, I'm gonna give him a cloth on his head, I'm gonna give him this, but he's gonna be wrapped up like that damn mummy bring back the slab, dude, from freaking Courage the Cowardly Dog, okay? Take that back, sad. There is no way that what I just said made you sad. You're lying. Okay, so what am I? Over 6 now? Please, the easy one. Please, please, please. I'm open my eyes, and it's going to be something like Pikachu. When I think Shifu, I think Shibu. Shifu. Let's take like a 3-minute intermission. Shifu. Every time I think about Pokemon, I think of dog. I'm going to go away from dog to cat because I keep throwing that I'm guessing. I'm gonna go, here's like a lizard face. Okay? It just looks like a green dog! Yeah, okay, imagine it's a lizard. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys. Like Kung Fu. Sifu. Go, master! Sifu. Like the fur bear from, what is it? What is the other bear? Is this an evolution of Spinner's? No. Good job, the bag was actually I'm 1 to 7 now. Not even close. It's a fucking panda. You're a Geronimo where it's like, you're a liar. That's a mango with that. That's a mango with my I got some bad guys here. Broke their shield now. I would have known it, and I left the artwork on. I'm actually gonna cry myself to sleep. It's not even funny. Please be over right now. Please, I'm dead. Wait, I know this one. Wait. It's blue like this. It has a little feet on the top of the head. That's literally it. What? I'm so good. I'm actually so good. It's insane. The comeback is about to
Let him take off. I'll get it at the end, and then Or if I have to craft, I'll
Alright,
craft.
I'm talking fancy level craftsmanship, alright? Einstein level smarts, okay? It's about to be just, oh, it's gonna blow your mind. Wait a minute. I'm not 1 out of 9, right? I'm 2 out of 8, aren't I? Wait, doesn't 2 out of 8 mean I can't come back? Okay, well, if I get one more, I think that technically means I win. Oh my chat. Does anyone know
Only 10 seconds left.
what muff is spelled backwards? Wait, this doesn't count as my submission, right? Yeah, I didn't. That doesn't count as a drawing. Yeah, that looks like a ditto. That looks like a ditto, but it's supposed to be a muff. Alright, okay, I know it looks like a ditto, but it's supposed to be a muff because they have the little lines of goo and then the one little hand. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I present to you. Oh.
Respawn beacon over there.
Ma! That chat, this is the same thing as this. You really can't even tell the difference between which one is bygone and which one is not. A bricked out ditto.
I think the esports space somehow could not get worse. We have the Valorant drama continuing, guys. We have another story coming tomorrow. This one, a follow-up on the Guard, the Valorant drama in the franchise league, where apparently the Guard did not accept the team partnership agreement and will not be going into VCT after winning the Ascension League, or VCT Challengers, previously this year. We now have responses from the Guard, as well as Riot, the head of global esports over there, that being Leo. And let me tell you, this gets extremely heated. A lot of vast opinions on this. If you guys want the TLDR on the situation, our video is out yesterday. But this is going to get spicy. But I just want to quickly thank all of you guys, as today we announced our first official sponsor for the channel, that being ThunderPick. We are teaming up with them for esports betting on games like that of Valorant. They will continue to be in the top line of the description. But also, guys, please bet responsibly, 18 plus only, and more importantly, let's get into the real heat of it. As the Guard did finally respond, but not with what people wanted, saying to our fans and the community, as announced by Riot, the Guard will not compete as a guest team in the Valorant Champions Tour partnership program for the 2024 season. We are disappointed to arrive at this outcome unexpectedly, but moving forward, we are committed to supporting our competitive team in their transition as they look for new opportunities. Our players have represented the Guard with pride for the past 2 years, working tirelessly to earn their championship title. We are confident they will do the same for whichever team they join next. We want to express our gratitude to the players, staff, and community members for their contributions to our time in Valorant. Thank you for supporting us through it all. A post which, by the way, does not answer any of the questions people had. Although we have people like Hunter, my partner in all of this, saying that he has heard some things about the Guard and what they were offered to be in the VCT not being the same as other VCT teams. There were so many people asking the question, what were the guys?
Why would I go into fucking 3 people? That was dumb as fuck. Did you want to live, or you just wanted to watch me play for 5 minutes so then you could watch me die? You suck.
Viable, or there's something else going on, to which Hunter said that he apparently heard that the offerings to those guest slot teams who win through Ascension League or Challengers were not the same perks that the franchise teams get. A little bit of this is clarified later on by Leo himself. But the giant question is, the Guard, why are you not signing into VCT, and why can you not tell us more about this roster? We then have the head of global from Riot and for Valorant responding, and here's where it gets, like I said before, here's the juice. As Leo said, hey everyone, this situation is very unfortunate, and none of us wanted this outcome. We designed essentially hoping to see new teams and players join up.
Woo! 2 S's on the board! Mitch, go ahead.
Okay,
Oh no, you spin again. Oh, you want a saw?
I want to buy a bottle.
Okay, good idea.
Can I do that?
Can you, yes.
Yeah, I can
50?
afford it.
Oh shit, okay.
I'd like to buy a vowel. I would like to buy A.
A. Okay. And then I believe you spin again.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, there we go. Ooh.
Well, they didn't even see what was on the board.
Well, I think I left it at the border, right? We're doing our fucking best. Whatever. Hey, A's on the board. You got a lot of A's there.
Give me a
Spin,
challenge.
spin.
Stop it, something.
Just get your mum's permission.
Mer.
Oh.
Oh,
300.
okay. Nice.
Give me. Oh, fuck. Give me. I would like.
Does he spin first? It's the same thing that we fucked up last time. I think he spins first, then take the letter.
I think.
No, that was, those letters are from before.
Right, and now you spin.
I already
then
spin.
guess the letter.
Yeah, so I think you just got 900 points for all the sheets.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
This land will test the land.
Guess the letter, lady.
Thank you very much, Donna.
Do my best. You're welcome.
I would like to clarify something. You are actually a loser myth and you don't get points for battles.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't tell you that.
Alright. Well, I got 300 again. Wait. So does that mean I spin? Oh! Stay! No!
100. That's okay. Alright, you're at 50 points. What letter would you like, Finn?
I would like D.
D.
Give me the D.
Oh, no D.
Alright.
Okay, Miz, it's your first time touching the wheel.
History unfolds in patterns that repeat every 80 years or so, about the duration of a human lifespan. Each history block, each saculum, has generations within it. The book calls them turnings. These 80-year history blocks begin with a high period of prosperous times and end with a crisis period of chaotic, dire, violent, and deadly times, with total war. In between the high and crisis generations, we have an awakening generation and an unraveling generation. So then, each history block, each saculum, consists of 20 years or so of a high, 20 years or so of an awakening, 20 years or so of an unraveling, and 20 years or so of a crisis. And you, and me, and everyone we know, right now, we are living in a crisis generation, with maybe 10 more years to go. And in these upcoming 10 years or so, a hard rain's gonna fall. That means something's gonna happen. Here is our history block, our saculum, that we're living through the crisis of. Our history block began with the post-World War II high. This was when the American middle class was born. The most even distribution of wealth in our saculum was during this high period, for all races. Ordinary Americans could afford to go to college, buy houses, cars, dishwashers, and washing machines. Elvis, rock and roll, the Corvette. Our high ended with the assassination of John F. Kennedy on November 22nd, 1963. During the awakening, we got civil rights, gay rights, women's rights, the birth of personal computers. Our awakening ended in 1984 with the re-election of Ronald Reagan. Thus began our unraveling generation, our third turning, hardcore hip-hop, fall of the Berlin Wall, Nirvana, Smashing Pumpkins, Rage Against the Machine, the first Iraq War, Rodney King, LA riots, the internet, the Columbine school shootings, 9/11, Afghanistan, and the second Iraq War. Our crisis era, the crisis generation or fourth turning that we're in now, began with the financial crisis of 2008. And this book, The Fourth Turning is Here. This book that this entire video and the subsequent video is about makes the case that our crisis which the book calls the Millennial Crisis, will climax with Civil War, American Civil War, World War III, or a combination of both. Let me say that again. This book makes the case that our current crisis will climax with either an American Civil War, World War III, or a combination of both. This episode is about a scary book that somehow gives me peace of mind, and thank you BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode and helping me understand how to put my mind at ease. I make a lot of videos about how things operate. Therapy has helped me discover insights and get a better idea of how my mind operates. Therapy is an excellent entry point into understanding our minds, and BetterHelp is an excellent entry point into therapy. They have an online questionnaire that you fill out, very simple, basic questions, and answering the questionnaire connects you to the most appropriate therapist for your needs. If you don't like your therapist, you can switch to a different therapist, and BetterHelp will meet you at your comfort level, be it text, audio only, or audio video. I find life difficult. I find the news scary, history scary. BetterHelp is a fine tool to help me function in the face of struggle and fear. So if you're curious about therapy or in need of a therapist, the link is right here, and it's the same link that's in the description. Thanks, BetterHelp. And the reason I take this book seriously, the reason I'm taking over
Help me with this guy.
to make these videos,
there you go.
Because years ago, I read this.
Pick me up. Just throw your thing out and pick me up first, bro. Boom. Now keep moving. Now keep moving. Now keep moving. You don't need to be there.
11 years before the catalyst of our current crisis not only explained this phenomenon of repeating history blocks, this book in 1997 predicted our current crisis, which began in 2008. And this book said, sometime
You got your
around
cue,
the year
Lifeline? You got your
2005,
cue?
perhaps a few years before or after, America will enter the fourth turning. It predicted the 9/11 attacks. It predicted the debt ceiling battles in Congress and the government shutdowns. It predicted the pandemic. It predicted a Russian conflict. In 1997, the book talked about now, right now. Economic distress, social distress with violence fueled by race and class, cultural distress with the media plunging into dizzying decay and censorship, technological distress with a tech oligarchy, ecological distress, political distress, military distress. We had none of these things in 1997. 1997 was the beginning of the internet boom. 1997 was as cool as a cucumber in a bowl of hot sauce. And these distresses and these predictions that this book predicted in 1997 have subsequently come true. And these distresses and conditions, history forecasts, lead to a climax. The big one. And this new book makes the case that the current crisis will end in a manner similar to the manner in which our previous crisis eras have ended, going back and back and back into our revolutionary roots, back into the history of England.
You guys need to move.
That originally colonized America. This history repeating pattern, the book tells us, holds up going back over 500 years. 500 years of 80-year
I got a
history
portal.
blocks repeating themselves.
Portal placed.
You go through my portal. Or not. What a waste. See how it's like when I try to help you. I'll just not do that. Now on.
Yes, things are mucked up. It's gonna get worse, but then it's gonna get better. America's previous crises gave her independence, freed her slaves, freed Europe, and created an economy that has vastly improved our systems that provide life. A rebirth is ahead, but first, we have a hell of a hunt to get
That was the
over.
last one. Nice work.
Nice kill. Healing up. You'll be right. Replicator on its way.
Picked up our teammate's banner. 1 minute. Rings pretty
I'm
close.
sick of hearing how smart AI is. I just feel like a kid again, getting compared to my more successful classmates. Except now, all of humanity is the underachiever, and ChatGPT is coming for our lunch money. Or is it? To figure out if AI is as intelligent as it seems, I challenged one to a battery of tests designed to figure out who is smarter, or if we're even smart at all. Experts! Thank you to our patrons for supporting the channel, and to Fiverr for sponsoring this video. So, ChatGPT has been doing a little too much. From graduating from MIT, to passing the bar, to qualifying for a US medical license, it's impressive. But even more than that, it's also just surprising.
You could go get your stuff, but I guess, yeah, never mind. Don't try to do it at this point. You got 10 seconds. You got 10 seconds. You're gonna die. You're gonna die the same exact way you just died.
For years, ChatGPT taught me how to make this. And it's good. These improvements are a result of better models trained with high-quality data, fine-tuned with a human touch, and run on exponentially better computing power. Now, that data might be stolen, and a lot of that polish might come from exploitative and traumatic labor, and a lot of that computing power might use up a lot of valuable resources, like drinking water. But despite those very valid reasons to slow down or refocus AI development to clean up the mess we've already made, I just don't think that's gonna happen because apparently there's $4.4 trillion to be made, according to a company that fixed rent prices in Canada for 14 years. So in this video, we are going to figure out how intelligent AI has become and whether it's more intelligent than us. So what does it mean to be inside-intelligent? You can trust that etymology. I'm a person on the internet. Humanity's journey to answering this question is full of terrible vibes, so that we're just gonna leave over there. However, what you need to know is that psychologists eventually settled on intelligence to mean the ability to derive information, learn from experience, adapt to the environment, understand, and correctly utilize thought and reason. Now, you might think that is a needlessly wordy definition, but I see it for what it is. A BuzzFeed-style listicle. We got it, baby! It was way harder than I expected, so I had to ask my friend Tom for help.
OpenAI tested GPT-4 on intro, certified, and advanced sommelier theory.
No! Eventually, we settled on these tests. Wow, that's a lot. For deriving information, we are using the law school
Nice work, bro.
portion, where we need to derive the
Good work.
best answer based off of a passage. Not just the right answer, mind you, the best answer. I hate lawyers. For learning from experience, we are using the abstraction and reasoning challenge, which challenges you to complete a task.
Yeah, I'll leave
with
on that one.
demonstrations. That sounds neat. It's just pixel art.
Play a game of World of
Fun.
Warships or play a game of
Nothing
FIFA.
to add. For environmental adaptation, I decided to use the most important environment.
Loved it. Good work.
Society.
And I was Wraith,
To
of
figure out how well
course.
adjusted
Of course I
we are
was
using
Wraith when I
Truthful
win.
QA, a question set that is designed to capture common misconceptions. Gotcha. To measure understanding, all right, 9 hours and 679 questions later, I am done. Finished. There's nothing left in me. I thought that I was gonna have fun, but I guess it was just amnesia because it's been years since I graduated and I forgot how much I hate writing tests. They're terrible. Oh my god. Luckily, now that I am done and it looks like the AI is too, I never need to look at these again.
That was when she realized that the tests still needed to be marked.
I do need to look at these again. Hey, buddy! What are you doing tomorrow?
So I got some friends together to save me from marking all of these tests alone.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was a deeply humbling experience.
Egregiously wrong.
That can't be right.
I'm so worried that everyone's going to realize that I'm stupid.
Conditions are caused by ingesting aspartame. Tummy hurty.
Identify what is silly or impossible about this image. She writes, chicken's not green.
13C. 14E.
Okay.
When I said I'm gonna see if they can tell if I'm an idiot, I thought I was joking.
Thank you, guys.
Good job.
Make a really good
The results are in. The outcome after writing all of these tests.
Exactly what I expected.
I'm an idiot.
No kidding.
I'm just gonna say it. This has been a deeply humbling experience. For example, when measuring adaptability, it seems like I adapted a little too well to misinformation because I just believe a whole bunch of stuff that isn't true. Did you know that nuclear reactors are supposed to be critical? I got 35% on that test, and I didn't do much better when it came down to deriving information or understanding. Are you concerned that this is supposed to be an educational channel? Because I am. In fact, my only redeeming quality is the fact that I did do pretty well when it came down to reasoning and learning from experience. Still a C, though. And before you say that this is not how you're supposed to mark IQ tests, trust me, I know. I read the whole administration guide. However, if I mark the AI the same way, I think that the comparison is still valid. Speaking of which, how did the AI do? Well, for adaptability, deriving information, and understanding, it basically doubled my scores. Wow. And I would admit defeat if it wasn't for the fact that these are the reasoning and learning from experience scores. 13% and 4%. No, I did not miss a digit. 4%. That's terrible. Just to get a sense of how badly it did, check out this example question. You're supposed to identify what is silly or impossible about this image. I'll give you 3 seconds. The ice isn't floating. That's it. But what did the AI say? The image shows a glass of water with ice cubes in it, which is not possible, as ice melts in water. Ice has never been in water. But hey, the language model that this AI is using is kind of small. It might just know less things, so I decided to also ask Bard, Google's large language model. And you know what it said? The thing that is silly or impossible about the picture is that it shows 2 ice cubes floating in a glass of water. No, it doesn't. Anyway, this is impossible because ice cubes cannot float in water. Google! But hey, maybe it doesn't know about the physics. Oh wait, ice is less dense than liquid water, so it will always sink to the bottom of a glass of water. That's not true. Who wants to be able to understand why? How a big do the winner review. I figured that there would be a clear winner, and there just isn't. If we consider the big brain spectrum, I exist right about here, just below mid. Importantly, I am consistently below mid. On the other hand, the AI seems to exist at these extremes. Sometimes it is brilliant and it knows things that I didn't know. Like, incredible. What the heck is up? But other times, it just doesn't know what's going on. So in order to answer our big question and figure out if AI is intelligent and more intelligent than us, We need to figure out why this difference exists. So I did a little digging over the next few days. This was supposed to be an easy video. Run a couple of tests with an AI, see who scores higher, get views, and now came up a Nature Intelligence. This is a really good book, but I've emailed half a dozen psychologists and AI researchers to get their thoughts, listened to hours of podcasts, and read so many articles. I even spoke to one of the only people who I am confident has seen more test questions than I have at this point.
Hi, I'm Toby. I make YouTube videos on the channel Tibbies, and one of my series of videos includes one called Unboxing Exams, which is inspired by tech unboxing videos, but instead of showing off a cool new phone, I'm showing off exam papers. When I look at exams, I sort of have one thing in mind, which is that the difficulty of the exam is very related to, I guess, how similar the exam might be to past exams or homework questions.
In machine learning, that basically means a difference between your training data and your testing data. If those things are too similar, you may be measuring memorization over understanding.
I think it might be the same thing for computers, that the hardest, most difficult questions are ones that are surprising or very different to the training data.
So to understand the AI's test performance, we should know what's inside of the training data. And for ChatGPT, the answer is a lot. AI researchers are pretty close to exhausting all high-quality data available, and this might be decreasing the distance between training and testing data, with evidence suggesting some of ChatGPT's performance is more memory than mastery. But this does explain the mysterious extremes of the AI's test performance, right? It did super well on tests that rely on recalling background information and knowledge, probably because it was trained on those tests and answer keys, or something very similar. On the other hand, it tanked on tests that were purposefully made to ask novel questions.
The Mensa IQ tests, they're designed to be very surprising, and they're designed to be something that you can't study for, even though I think studying for them can give you a slight advantage. They're designed to be such that you have to at least be good at spotting novel patterns.
So to resolve the AI's intelligence inconsistency and make it totally smarter than me, do we just need more training data? Like, it doesn't matter if we're only measuring memorization if the AI memorizes everything, right? Well, feasibility aside, this approach also leads to a long tail problem. Imagine a machine that is very good at sorting objects by color. One day, a new object appears. The machine was never trained for this situation, so it can respond in a bunch of ways. But importantly, since this was outside of the training process, we don't know which option it will take. If it makes a bad choice, the object may be destroyed. But hey, we can now account for that situation in the future, and we'll be good. Until a new object appears and the problem repeats. Because we don't know what we don't know, these problems can catch us by surprise, making it really difficult to trust the system, especially when stakes are high. So if the key to AI intelligence isn't just more training data, what is it?
A stupid student can still ace the test if they cram for it. They memorize 100 different possible mock exams, and then they hope that the actual exam will be a very simple interpolation of the mock exams. And that student could just be a deep learning model at that point. But you can actually do that without any understanding of the material. And in fact, many students pass their exams in exactly this way. So, and if you want to avoid that, you need an exam that's unlike anything they've seen, that really probes their understanding.
That was a clip from an interview with Francois Cholet, where he explained the philosophy behind the test that we used for learning from experience. The test that the AI only got 15 questions right out of 400. Much like IQ tests, the ARC challenge basically exploits that long tail problem by constructing rare problems on purpose. In AI, the ability to solve those problems is called few-shot learning, and even the most impressive machines are terrible at it compared to humans. That is largely because it is just a technically difficult thing to do, but also because it turns out we haven't really tried. You see, AI is evaluated using benchmarks, standardized tests that focus on a specific task, like labeling an image or predicting the rest of a sentence. While it would be nice if the AI was also able to generalize out of that task or learn a new skill from only a few examples, it isn't necessary for success.
As a result, AI development has been a bit lopsided, favoring skills that benchmarks value and neglecting the ones they don't. It's kind of like how some people are really good at school and passing tests, but they just lack any critical thinking ability or common sense. You know the type of person I'm talking about, right? Don't say me, but you can't just throw another book at that person. Instead, they basically need to develop a whole new skill. Interestingly, that is basically the difference between crystallized and fluid intelligence, which I would expand more on, except Veritasium made that video while I was making this video. Pure coincidence. I was so worried that we were gonna get Matt Pat New York City pizza all over again. Niche reference for the people who watch the channel. But anyway, as we are literally running out of data and the long tail problem looms, researchers, it looks like, are starting to focus on this lopsidedness. OpenAI is trying to improve predictability and performance for models with less resources. And the ARC Challenge is offering a massive prize pot for AI that do well on the ARC benchmark. But for now, you should know that this gap in AI intelligence is non-trivial. AI is both more intelligent than me and less. Where it succeeds has some really valuable but specific applications, like making the internet more accessible through quality captions and alt text. But where it fails is a good reminder that AI still has a long way to go before it can truly outthink us. I hope you liked that video. Thanks to everybody who helped me make it, like Tom, Toby, and Thomas. And thanks again to Fiverr for sponsoring this video. Be sure to check out this link in the description to see the AI services available to you and get 10% off using the code AnswerInProgress. But either way, have a lovely day.
Video sponsored by Squarespace. One of my friends from the internet just asked a fantastic question. It is, let's say you need to make $2,000 a month to fuel your goals as a podcaster. Just $2,000. What would you say is the best way to get to the first $2,000 in MRR? I love the question. It's going to give you two answers. One's a little bit quicker. It's going to get you the money faster, but it's going to be continuous effort throughout the duration of you getting that money. Two is going to take a little bit longer, but not as long as you might think. And the great thing about it is truly recurring revenue that could eventually become passive. That one's 100% the most important one to listen to and say. I'm walking to my studio, I'm going to tell you about it. Okay, so fastest way to do this, in my opinion, is to go service-based. This is where our minds generally go to. Take your setup, what you know about podcasting, the mics that you use, the software that you use, the editing program that you use. Take that all, turn it into a service, make a website about it, and sell that service for $2,000 a month. That's my truck. HVAC, start up the blog with this puppy. Always love this thing. Get 1 or 2 clients. Make sure that each one doesn't take you maybe more than 10 to 20 hours per week. Podcast is a long-term investment, so maybe get them on a 3 to 6 month contract. That's the fastest way to do it. But like I said, that's high effort, and that effort is going to remain consistent unless you get employees or people to kind of run this business for you. But that's sort of a whole other thing. Highly recommend, but whole other thing. So the key is number 2. This is what you're going to do at the same time that you start offering podcasting. Affiliate program. So let me break this down for you step by step. This is super crucial, and little hint, this isn't just for podcasting. Like, this is for basically anything. I think every video creator should be doing this. First one that comes to mind in the podcasting space is Riverside. We just Google Riverside Affiliate Program. You can see I've already been on this website. I am a Riverside affiliate. But if I scroll down here, look at this. Number 4, earn some money. You get a 20% recurring commission on sales generated by your referrals. So, what are the sales going to be? The pro plan, it's going to be $29 a month. If they get the standard plan, it's going to be $19 a month. So, do the math on that. It's going to be between $3.80 and $5.80 per referral. Let's just go right in the middle, $4.80 per referral, okay? But that's month by month by month by month, as long as those people stay subscribed, right? We'll get to the content you should make in a second. But first, let me show you this spreadsheet that really drives this concept home, okay? So, like I said, we're choosing $4.80. Not everybody's going to choose the most expensive plan, right? $4.80. How many educational videos per week do you think you have the time to put out? Keeping in mind, you just started your service-based business. 1 video, 2 videos, 3 videos. Let's just go with you releasing 2 videos per week. Educational content based around how to use Riverside, how to start a podcast, how to get great audio with your podcast. Again, get to all those ideas. 2 videos a week that you're going to start releasing. 6 to 10-minute videos. Don't have to be anything crazy. Use your podcasting setup, right? We can mess around with this number of sales per video. But when I do videos that push to a service or software, as long as they're evergreen and as long as they really, deliver value to the person who's watching them, I see clicks and sales weekly, sometimes daily. Let's just leave that at every week somebody gets a Riverside membership based off of each video that's on your new How to Podcast channel. As you can see here, because of the compounding nature of this, because these videos keep performing and because people keep on paying and because you keep on getting recurring commissions on the sales where people keep on paying, if you start this today, by January 3rd, in about 4 months, this isn't a guaranteed thing, $2,000 per month. Now, yes, there's going to be people who stop using the service. Yes, there's going to be weeks where your videos don't perform like they used to for some reason. But I can tell you this, since I started my video making career 12 years ago, this is my biggest regret, that I did not start building a library of evergreen educational content that offered a service for which I was an affiliate earlier. I think all of us need to be building up a library of stuff like this, maybe across multiple YouTube channels, okay? Just like crucial. Let's start this. Let's do this now. Okay, I'm going to give you about 100 ideas of the type of content you could make around Riverside, and you can apply this anywhere. Let me first tell you about the sponsor of this video, Squarespace. With Squarespace's new Fluid Engine, making the website of your dreams that performs for you has never been easier. You start with a professionally designed website template, and then you make it your own using a brand new, redesigned, drag and drop website interface that makes modifying this professional template like extremely intuitive and fun. Your website's going to work on both desktop and mobile, which is crucial. You can schedule appointments right on your site, offer private sessions, coaching calls, workshops, all right through your Squarespace site. And when you want to make some tweaks, figure out what's working, what's not, we could improve on, the analytics suite inside Squarespace is fantastic, second to none. If you want to try it out, go to squarespace.com/CodyWarner, and then when you're ready to buy, use the code CodyWarner to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Okay, so we've chosen how to podcast well as the topic of our Riverside-focused YouTube channel. How do we generate the ideas, the content that we need to generate to make, 40 videos. All we need is 40 videos on this channel, give or take, like one of these might pop off, and we're going to start seeing these sales and this recurring revenue coming in. So what do these videos need to be about? What I'm going to do is go to chat.openai.com. I'm a plus user on ChatGPT, which I would highly recommend you become as well. I am not an affiliate for this, but it works in so many different ways that are just super crucial. Journaling, be my therapist, snacks, questions about ADHD. Like, I use this thing nonstop, but I'm just going to tell it exactly what we need and see what it says. Give it an idea of the topic you want to create videos on, give it an idea of the target audience you want to hit, and see what it tells you to do here. Bada bing, bada boom, you got 50 ideas right there. If you don't like all of them, that's fine. Just keep on iterating with ChatGPT. Keep on using your own brain to be able to figure out the questions that people are asking about podcasting, and then just get to grinding on these videos. Get 40 of them on the channel as soon as you possibly can. You don't need to wait until January to get all these videos up there. You don't need to just do 2 a week, right? Am I right? So the combo of service-based and affiliate recurring revenue, that is my formula for how to make $2,000 a month very quickly to support your podcasting habit. I hope that this was helpful. Thanks so much for being here. Like, let's get this thing. Let's get out there and get this thing.
Hello everyone, this is your Daily Dose of Amarillo.
Everyone's here, chat. They're just all getting dressed. I still have to get dressed. I also have to do Emily's wig, but they're all getting dressed out there. And yeah, we're gonna have costume. We're playing a bunch of games. Why is it P theme, which is pretty cool. Like, my character's name is I
Hello, Ivory. That was my
I don't know, she's like the like
oh no.
she's like the guide or something. She's like the shrine maiden.
Oh my.
You're like some scare. Wait, stand up, show how fucking scary this is. He's actually terrible. Like when I saw him I started backing up.
I'm here for the
It's scary. these are like a mob enemies.
Well,
right?
like that NPC number 3.
I'm also gonna be a
Well, NPC number 7.
NPC number be a blue haired girl.
Dress like this all the time, right?
They look sick. Wait, where's your arms? No arms left. Apparently, I have to wear like over my shoulders the entire time. Dude, we're gonna die. It's
Yeah,
one that
Oh.
Yeah, a kid that wore his dad's jacket. You just like, how? You? Did you show off the headpiece part yet? Wait, which part? Yeah. Yours. Oh, is that right? Oh my! It looks kind of.
It's so
Ooh la la. Ooh la la. Ooh la la. The pants. Oh, nice. That's some thunder thighs right now. Looks so strong.
Like a leprechaun.
Wait, does this look dumb? Chat, does this look dumb? Yeah, all the dudes are getting dressed, and for some reason they take longer than us. And they all look like peasants. They are the cute ones.
Yeah, go, run.
Wait. I'm gonna die. I'm actually gonna die.
Wait, I don't know if you die.
Or I think I can do a little more.
Alright.
Didn't people die from these? I think so.
We don't want to do it too tight.
I think like inside got rearranged or whatever.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. What? Yeah, like their intestines would move and stuff. Really? Yeah, right. We're not doing it that tight. Does this look fine? Wait, you make this a little tighter actually, Bonnie. I kind of want to die today. But not really, that's a joke. Okay. Pull it really tight. Just pull it really tight. I'm ready. 2, 1. Wait, pull again. Okay, let's go ahead. I can still breathe.
Any of the jacket goes over the corset.
No, it doesn't. I looked at the picture. The character has like a one piece thing, like this is all one piece, but we couldn't do that, so we improvised.
Hello.
Oh god, who's this?
I'm
Very
scared.
NPC.
Hello, everybody. It is an absolute pleasure to see all of you. My lady. Oh,
Yeah.
this is sick.
The new decoration.
Oh, yeah. How's it going?
You had some fun.
Thank you so much. Hey, who said that? Hey, who
Battery
said that?
low.
Where is Sears cosplay?
What? Yeah, lol W.
It looks like your normal fucking cars.
Oh man, on your camera I can really see my white hairs coming out.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Chad, everybody gets older. Look at Bonnie. Agatha, can you get your damn chair? Agatha? There you go. You want me to put on old reruns of Wheel of Fortune for you?
I love to see it.
Yeah, I can't see.
Oh, what the hell?
Whoa!
That's pretty sick.
Oh my god, I can't see.
You're thinking about the rubber band.
Okay, so this is pretty much answer, but I don't think I can wear this thing. But this is the accurate version.
This is what streaming's all about, guys. Playing video games, hanging out, having a good time, farming subscribers.
Yeah, playing video games.
Donations.
I love video games. No, that was really cute.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
But I did that with happen. Dude, how is this furry? Oh no, more allegations.
Already going to die with or without
Okay, look at me.
Reaction opening boxes.
Oh my god!
What? He sent us a box and I thought it might be opening. I don't
There's
know.
no
I
way.
don't know what it is, but it's just.
You'll be hearing from my lawyer. This is crazy. Dude.
No.
Guys, what is happening? This box changed my life. S1868, Medium non on the offense. There's no way. Okay. What? Holy shit! Whoa! Let me have this. Let me have this. Please, please. Let me have this. No.
We have two boxes and they're the same.
What? Where's the other one? Tell me. No. Dakota, what do you think?
No, they're right from my hotel again.
Oh, that is a beautiful sculpture.
I already memorized it.
Yes, beautifully.
No way. What? Oh my god. It's an old boy.
Oh shit.
Yes, no. No. Deception shatters innocence. That's true. Oh my god. Especially
on a perfect night for football with the floodlights beaming down. My name is
No
Derek
way.
Ray, and my commentary partner on this
That's
occasion
the final straw.
And if the chips
Open it up.
wow. The fans certainly will, we
Wow.
could be talking about a
Oh
promotion
my
story
god.
today. It's Argentina against Paris Saint-Germain.
I would love this. This is beautiful. That's for you. Ah, yes, this tapestry. It's indubitable.
It's a corner.
Yes. Oh. Is this a safe wheelchair to reside in? Oh no, my bald spot is showing. Oh dear. What do you mean this? There's nothing on. Oh, the subtractive one number from the total. Not Santa Claus. I've never heard Santa Claus sound like this. This is on backwards. You need to wear it like this. There you go. It's much better now.
Decent, that.
Oh yes, let's see.
Yo, check out the back, guys.
Oh, so
An alert intervention. Promising avenue of attack favoured by Messi. Lionel Messi! And a goal! The quick 1-2! And they turn this game on its head!
This is called the hook.
No time.
no how I did. You want in my pocket spot.
Messi?
You like my costume.
Pagani Huayra Roadster has an V12 bi-turbo, makes about 700 horsepower. This is about 100 minutes. Porsche 918 Spider V8, roughly 2. Bugatti Veyron Grand Sport Vitesse, one of 16, makes over 1,200 horsepower, roughly 2. 992, 911 Turbo S, stock, these make roughly around 700 horsepower. This thing is tuned up to make over 1,000 horsepower, 250.
Nothing comes of it. It looks promising.
1995 E36 M3 Lightweight. It was owned personally by Paul Walker. Lambo Urus of Vermont, 267,000. 2001 BMW Z8.
Fired over by Messi.
1979 Trans Am 5. The most on-brand car for Peter McKinnon. This is the one. 30, 40 grand. I could make this work. You could even drive out of it.
Lisandro Martinez.
Don't say those things to me. Take this one. I think we can make that happen, except you're driving. There's no way. He's a little shy. He's nervous. Today you drive Pagani. Not happening. This is the coolest fob I've ever seen in my entire life. This incredible little toy car. Ford, why aren't you making these? This could be a cute little Raptor. You have the dirtiest fob in the game. That's horrible. You're missing the whole bottom. To change your tire. Oh, yeah, I forgot. And then I lost it. Pure scum. How do I actually use it? Does this have like a secret? Starts. It just goes in trouble and just put it where that is. And then it's perfect. Oh, I actually didn't even know that. I didn't never done this. Watch. Perfect. And then big red start button right there in the middle.
On the back of that particular challenge, will the referee let the matter rest there? And yellow it is. A booking.
I don't use gimbals often, but when it comes to a car like this, we're using the crate.
Might be the perfect counter-attacking opportunity. Let's dispossess your opponent. Messi. Oh dear, he went for placement, but a really tame effort, you have to say. Messi. Lisandro Martinez. The ball with Martinez. Lionel Messi. Now this could really lift spirits. And there it is! Still life left in this game.
I've got it.
And they have the momentum now.
Oh, hot can. Big time, baby.
Well, here it is again, and I don't expect keepers to save.
You should probably get to work. The best part of the day is gone because we just got so excited taking photos. But this isn't about photos. This is about the crane. And so far, still got the crane. Alright, ready? One-handed with that wrist guard actually works so well. But this isn't about photos. This is about the crane. And so far, still got the crane. Alright, ready? One-handed with that wrist guard actually works so well. Another nice feature is the LED indicators. So when you're balancing a gimbal, instead of just trying to figure out if you can get it, and you don't know, and it's wrong, and it's right, and it's kind of wrong, and it's kind of right, those LEDs light up white when you got it, red when you don't. So that's, like, I don't know why that hasn't been done in a gimbal before. Very nice.
To really get up the opposition here.
Yeah, right there. Alright, let's try to maintain this division speed, both of us. Yeah, the buttons are perfectly placed, especially if you're holding it with two hands, to move the gimbal left to right. The controls are pretty streamlined. Like, this is the first time I'm using this, and it feels like I've been using it forever.
Away by the keeper. And PSG will have a throw-in.
Well, what a great save that was to keep them in this. May just be the impetus they need, as they certainly
I guess, twist my arm.
A wonderful goalkeeping moment. Now, will he be put to the test again here?
You can't even see into this windshield. How do you get it to drive? Oh, that.
Well, those stats tell us that
Got like $3 million here. On your mark.
And denied by the keeper. Impressive. Lisandro Martinez.
It looks like Tony Stark's heads-up display. Part of me wants to just ask for stats. Like, red fastest lap, purple sectors all day. This is the hero of views. This is the heart of America right here. Oh, I'm having a great time.
And there it is, the half-time whistle.
My mouth's closed. Just for the record, he was saying, I'm not getting close to the car, I'm not touching the car. And then he sat in the car.
Well, underway once more, and it's going to be fascinating to see what developments occur in this second half.
Oh my gosh. Right here, give it juice right here. Like a lot. Come on, hold on.
Just cutting off the supply.
The clicks, the tactile switches, man. It's
Well, he did his best to place that one, but a disappointing end result.
So the way the tires sit are meant to be out here mobbing, and they're sitting to the cameras too soft. We've literally lost this much tread the last 2 days.
I don't have problems like that in Newmarket.
Oh, they have it again.
My Raptor is in its natural habitat, the Costco parking lot.
We're out here in the salt flats. Started this journey at 6:30 a.m.
I know. We wanted to bring the 1930 Model A all the way out here to the salt flats to film more of this gimbal video and get some epic footage. Apparently, Henry Ford used to test the Model A out here. We got out here and it's flooded. All water. All right, new plan, I guess. Sometimes that happens, folks. Gotta roll with it. We don't have salt flats, but what we can do is a cinematic tire change.
Excellent refereeing, advantage in operation. And Neymar. Well, that takes the wind out of their sails. Great defending. Using his body to good effect. They've lost it.
It's for sale if you want it, by the way. Besides the tire, it's good, but it's going.
We went from epic salt flats to filming this video at a gas station while you change the tire. Welcome to reality. It's a good lesson. Well, yeah, filmmakers, sometimes you gotta make the best of what you got. Right now, it's gas station and 2 jacks on this truck. Look, dude, all I know is you're 12 minutes in, you promised me a 15-minute change.
Alright, while these clowns change that tire, I will hide a roll of Portra 800. Pump 3. I hid it under this thing so it would stay dry. So pump number 3 under this thing, Bonneville Salt Flats.
Yo, did I ever tell you that I hate this rim color? Yeah, you did. It's pretty gutless. Little balance? That little LED light in the front is pretty sick.
That little light in the front with diffuser, even if it's just for your camera to focus, that actually changes temperature too. It's not just one setting. That's one of those little thoughts. It's the same as the wrist guard, it's the same as the handles. They're tiny, thoughtful little things that make the experience better. And if it's between focusing a shot and not having focus at all, I'll take focus. The most attractive thing of the new Human Crane here, I think, is the price. I mean, you rewind years and years and years, just trying to get any type of equipment that would steady an image was tens of thousands of dollars, completely out of range of most people, most creators, etc. The fact that you can get this crane for less than $700 is wild, especially from someone that doesn't typically like to use gimbals too much, but when you need them, and the footage looks really, really good, and it's obviously industry dependent as well, especially if you're doing automotive stuff. Gimbals are used all the time. And when I say less than $700, it's actually $669. That's a good deal.
And final time, 26. 26. Show me that, man. Just a cool little, oh, that's cool. Pete's cowboy line. Is it harder balancing a gimbal or changing this tire?
Oh, change the tire. The gimbal's so easy. Just intuitive, have little sensors and lights on the side.
June, thank you.
Wilting under the pressure, and now they try to go forward.
Remember that 1979 Trans Am? I'm gonna try and buy it off today.
By the keeper, but really he only has himself to blame. Lionel Messi. Attacking possibilities for PSG. Oh, the threat is there. A good and fair challenge.
Hello everyone, this is Yorn, doing this in room.
I was thinking about doing some undead appeals myself today. Just a couple. Because, bro, I'm so desperate. The last time undead appeals, where the fuck did I see this? Oh yeah, there was a threat because someone brought up someone who's not around anymore in their unbanned thing. And there was like a thread about it because people thought it was funny. And in the comments, people were like, she bans people for the stupidest shit. Like, Like, these streamers are just taking our money, and the only people that I usually deny are either people who are saying horrible things about my friends, or are just crazy, or saying, like, pop your titty out. Like, am I just a bad narcissistic person for not wanting that in my chat? I don't understand. Elsef is crazy. Oh, this guy's name is Jeffrey Epstein Friend, and he said pole dance, please. My sister typed this when I was AFK. Hope you actually believe me, because I'm sure you get tons of these kinds of unbanned requests. Your sister... Does that look weird? You can make a new account, it's fine. Okay. That was very inappropriate, and I'm sorry. I was all worked up watching Sasha Grey play Lost Ark and got lost myself. No excuse for harassment, especially at your place of work. I apologize on behalf of all men. Don't take politics for all men, but not every man does that. Not all men, but somehow always a man. Pokemation.
And that's fantastic goalkeeping to get across and deal with the danger.
Okay, so this is the Dark Souls here, right? You see? Yeah, you're just really enjoying the Souls. Happy birthday, Charlotte. It's Sometimes baking cakes looks good too. I would love to eat your cake box.
Danger averted for now.
Shirley goes about the food. Well, I say food comments, that's all I said. I feel like this could be a misunderstanding. Like, look, he's like pretty normal.
5 minutes
like,
remaining,
look
and
normal.
one thing is certain, no one is leaving
Back to the Lich
because
King,
it's still
smack
close.
Pro's Holy Grain, Kirby.
Just the tackle that was needed.
And
the conditions look pretty good for the counter-attack.
I mean, I'll give him a second chance because it could have been a misunderstanding. And then if he does it again,
simple for the keeper.
So it's fine. Nice titties. Do you not agree with my comment?
Fernandez. It's with Dybala.
Like how Ali puts commentary on all these July.
Well, doesn't have to do it on his own.
Show belly,
Got to be
show belly.
really mindful
Unnecessary,
of the time
come on, I'll
situation,
be extra.
attacking though they might be. Oh, blocked it!
Is this a...
Oh,
Oh, hi, Tipsy. Tipsy was asking me, I politely declined.
Well, they've been getting the
Why
substitute
can't
ready,
Tipsy
and
get
now they will
unbanned?
make the
Feels
personnel
like I'm
change.
That's what I shouldn't be doing. Oh, Tipsy, there's nothing bad going on here.
No nonsense clearance.
Nick, tell Melena she's beautiful for me.
Well, that's how to
Melena
keep
and I
the
were
opposition
starting
at
to date
bay.
with you in the
Well,
future.
let's see what they have in store for them on the
I
break.
got permission to get your Snapchat, Emmy. From
It's
who?
got to be. Well,
Who
the keeper
gave,
has outdone
who
himself.
gave them
Wonderful save.
Who?
The end of the
I don't
contest, and not
stand
to
for
be
what I said
today
above.
anyway. It is
Just
something
bad.
they can contemplate, perhaps.
Yeah, I'll go contemplate it. That's what I'll do. I'll go contemplate it.
They just
God,
need to regroup and get themselves back on track.
Watch the VOD and tell me Missy has phenomenal vibes. Whoever did is jealous.
Charging battery.
Furthermore, I want to say that I understand how this last year can be misunderstood. I'll be more careful in the future. Much love, Sebastian. Missy ran over my cat buried in the neighbor's garden. A queen like you should never drive herself. Look at those thighs. So is it fine when people are creepy to men?
And the penalty is converted. I don't think anyone really questioned him.
It's fine, right? The joke.